is up, boys?
Hello.
Oh, hi.
What is going on?
That's how we're doing it, huh?
Alex, Owen, I appreciate your enthusiasm in response to my introduction because I feel like other members of the party here, other members of this podcast are just...
Other members of the party, oh my goodness.
Too many RPGs.
Yeah,
too many RPGs.
We were throwing a party, so
yeah,
didn't have the energy required.
Yeah, Caleb's never been invited to a party, so
yeah.
it's going to be tough.
Dang.
Rude.
Got him.
Man.
Burn.
How's everybody doing? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Awesome. You know I'm
Awesome.
here.
Yeah, I mean, everybody just trying to survive. I get it. Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Forecast, a bi-weekly podcast about everything games, film, and news. I'm Aaron Juno.
I'm Alex McCausland.
I'm Caleb Juno.
I'm Jake Fetterkyle.
And I'm Owen Padaline. What is going on, ladies and gentlethems?
Ooh,
nice.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Gentle them.
Gentle
It's so hard
them.
to say.
Yeah.
I messed it up immediately.
I did. See, it's so hard to say.
How many episodes in a row did you do the other one? Now you're just changing it.
173 episodes. Wow, no, probably not that
I
many.
would like to say shout out to Drag Me to Dinner because they had a lot of very good intros, and I was like, and just writing it down. I was like, these are great ideas.
Ladies and gentle them. I like that. Okay, on today's episode number 174, all of the major summer game showcases happened, and we're going to spend the entire podcast talking through all of the good news and, of course, the bad. Plus, Sports Illustrated's video game section notes that, quote, Starfield being 30 FPS on Xbox is a complete non-issue. Also, it's been 4 years since Metroid Prime 4 was announced. October officially has too many video games that are going to be released, and, of course, we have been playing video games. If you'd like to know more about what we do, you can follow us on our social channels, or you can check out our website at WeAreTheHorizon.com, where we have a ton of original content for you to browse through, including our multi-arc Starfinder adventure, The Discordant Signal, which I am never going to stop promoting. So
even
fun.
after it's over?
Yeah, until it's over, and then I'm going to keep promoting. Additionally, everything we talk about is in our cast notes, so you should push out to whatever podcasting app you are using. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Off the top, time for some Rate That List. I think that's what I'm going to start calling this. Rate That List, yes.
Catchy.
You gotta rate it.
Yes. You know, I spent some time, like, what list am I going to do this week? And really, there were some contenders. There was Kieran Culkin's list of essential video games, which, honestly...
wow.
I actually kind of like that. That's good.
He's got a very good list. I don't know if you've seen a lot of the stuff that he does, but he's a huge gamer.
Yeah, I really liked him in Home Alone. I thought he was really good in that.
That's the other
Get out of
Culkin.
here.
That's
No, I'm pretty sure it's the same guy.
Yeah, it's totally the same guy. We also had Screen Rant's 10 video games we want to see Nick Cage in next.
none. Zero.
Contender right there.
Death
Top
Stranding
contender.
2.
Yeah. We had The Gamer's 8 silliest video game power-ups, which was funny. Some were really funny, and then others were, okay, it's fine.
Just the other day we were talking about the gamer and how it seems mostly AI generated. The
Yes.
whole site.
Right.
Oh, really? Excellent. Wonderful. I'm glad I'm looking that one up. Then we have Nerd Stash's The 10 Best Video Game Dragons of All Time. I really like almost purely subjective lists. I think they're the best.
Yeah.
I'm curious what dragons are on this list, to be honest.
I mean, I'll just go through real quick. There's Parthenax, the Ur-Dragon, Alduin, Spyro, Ridley, Charizard, Deathwing.
Oh, Ridley's a good...
dragon.
Is Ridley a dragon? I guess Ridley's a dragon.
Dragon?
I don't know. I'm Googling Ridley.
Yeah, Mechanical Dragon. Sure.
Ridley's like a dinosaur.
Yeah, Ridley's...
Let's see.
Yeah.
Ridley is a TV show about a detective named
Nope.
Alex Ridley.
Thanks.
No?
Nope.
This is
That's
no.
not it? Interesting.
I found a list from a website called Fortress that is the best video games of all time, but it's 12. And that feels just wrong.
Why?
They
12?
couldn't limit it to 10.
Couldn't limit it to 12 or to 10. It had to be 12. It's got to be 12. And this was published, mind you, May 15th. So, you know, there's going to be some solid games in here for the last couple of years. Elden Ring is not even on this list.
Wow.
I'm rating that list so low.
Yeah, that's
That's
bad.
okay.
12 and no Elden Ring.
Instead, what I have chosen is a list from us for an expert jury with the New York Times listed the 20 best video games of all time.
What?
Oh,
Wow.
Yes. An expert jury.
how do you become an expert juror about video
Good
games?
question. I don't know. I mean, an expert. Maybe a jury of experts. That's why they call it an expert jury. So the jury's elevated at that point because they have a whole bunch of experts on it, so it becomes an expert jury. Is that how that works?
I wonder if each of the expert jurors got judged by a separate jury to decide that they were an expert.
Wow. I doubt
They had the expert panel is what they call it
Yeah.
later on in the list. Is Charlie Brooker, is a game critic from and creator of Black Mirror, Lucy Preble, a writer on Succession, Daniel Middleton, a popular YouTuber, and Helen Lewis, a writer for The Atlantic and self-confessed video game fan. This is the 4 people who are on this.
Oh, it's only 4 people, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to go through this list because I think there's some really good things on here, and then there's some things on here. We'll just go with that. We don't have to spend too long on each of these because it's 20. But number 20, Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
19,
That's fine.
Sim
Insane.
City.
Which one? The one that
Original.
everyone hates? Okay. All right.
Original.
Okay.
Original.
All right.
Number 18, Pac-Man.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
Yeah. Number 17, Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. 16, Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft.
There's next part to Hearthstone. I thought that was the name of the game. Hearthstone, whatever.
Yep.
Weird pick.
Weird
I
pick.
mean, it is like
It's
the
very
biggest,
popular.
Yeah, of that style, I guess.
I guess the
Almost-
issue is if you're gonna do that, why not do the Dota one? The name of which I can't even
yeah.
think of.
It's Artifact.
the one that died
Artifact.
immediately.
Oh,
Thank
man.
you.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing
The
game.
one that crashed and burned.
Yeah. Number 15, we have Far Cry 4.
No way.
Yeah,
What?
That's wrong.
Why is
What
that
an
there?
insane list.
20 best video games of all time. Far Cry 4, number 15.
Why not
bad.
put like 3? The one everyone agrees
The
was
good
like the
one?
turning point. Yeah, because 4 was just 3 again. Whatever. All right, sure.
All right. 14, we have Uncharted 2.
Good pick.
Okay, all right.
I would disagree, but it's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
You didn't even
yeah.
play Uncharted 2. Get out of here.
13, we have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Okay.
12.
Sure.
12, we have Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta have
Sure,
a
I'll allow
one
it.
in there, probably.
11, Halo Combat Evolved. Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Revolutionized
10.
FPS.
Yep. Red Dead Redemption.
The first one.
The first
first
one,
one.
that is interesting.
Yep, the first one. Mm-hmm.
Okay, no. But continue. Go on.
Yep. Then we have number 9 is Civ 5.
Owens,
I mean,
Owens people.
I disagree again, but at least
Barely
like, that's
my
like a
people.
good one.
Yeah. Number 8, we have Journey. Okay,
All right.
sure.
I mean,
Weird.
it's good.
Definitely
I
a
wouldn't put
unique
it that
experience, but
Yeah.
yeah, maybe
It's
not.
very unique. Yeah, it's like a Doki Doki pick almost.
Uh-huh.
high. Yeah, that's fair.
Number 7, we have Minecraft. Sure.
Sure,
All right, yeah.
It's everywhere.
Maybe even put that higher.
Ubiquitous.
Number 6, we have 1993's Doom. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Actually revolutionized first person. I mean, it's like the
Yeah.
real first thing for that.
Yeah.
Number 5, BioShock.
Yeah, heck
Wow,
yes.
Bioshock way high.
We got
All
a
right.
good
Way high.
list
Yeah.
now.
Way high. Number 4, we have Tetris.
Oh, I thought that was going to be number 1.
Not number 1.
All right. Okay.
Number 3, you know what? Any guesses? 3, 2, 1. I'm just toss some things out there. I'm
right.
really interested. Like,
A Mario
There's no
of some
Zelda out
kind.
there yet.
A Zelda of some kind. Yeah.
Definitely a Zelda's in there.
Portal.
Portal?
Ooh,
Portal's
that's
got to
a
be
good
on
one.
there, right?
It's probably not, but that would be a good one.
I feel like Portal's on like the short list of games where it's like if
Ah.
someone, it's like, oh, it's perfect. I'm like, yeah, Portal
Portal-
1 kind of is.
Half-Life could be on there as well.
Portal or Portal
see
2,
Half-Life.
and then like Super Mario World, and or 64 maybe, and then
Probably 64.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. If you make a list like this and you don't put Ocarina of Time on it, someone comes and kills you. I'm pretty sure that's the law.
I think you're right.
They will
All right,
find
here
you
we
in
go.
the middle of the night.
here we
Yeah.
go. Number 3, Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
Odyssey.
They went with Odyssey.
Wow, they went with like
Okay.
I mean,
a modern one. That's weird for
a good
this list
pick.
because they keep using old ones.
Yeah.
for
They
a bunch of
alternate
games.
between like something modern that's probably going to be good for a long time and something old that doesn't hold up almost at all.
Yeah, weird.
Number 2, this feels a little bit like cheating, but The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2.
You can't put both.
You can't have
Cheating?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Just put the first one on there.
I just put the first one. That's fine.
Second
number
one's
1.
better.
Topping the list.
Oh, you like the second one better?
I do.
I thought I was alone.
Topping the list, we have Portal and Portal 2.
You
They
can't
couldn't combine them?
do
But
that.
honestly, you just either one would still be at the top of the list.
It's a
probably.
no Zelda in
Should
the
be.
entire list.
No Zelda on the entire
No
list.
Zelda is
Well,
surprising.
They're gonna
Uh,
find them.
No Zelda on the entire list. We have
Somebody's
a Far
dying.
Cry 4 submission. We have Red Dead Redemption without Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah,
They
of
took-
all the ones to do, too.
right?
Yeah.
Just put them together. You already
I'm
did
saying
two
you
other
could just-
times.
Yes, exactly. We also have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, not GTA 5, which is like maybe the
Yeah.
most downloaded video game other
The
than
whole time.
is
Yeah.
it more than Skyrim? Are there more downloads of GTA 5 than there are Skyrim?
Probably.
There's gotta
I mean,
be,
it's
right?
not
It's
more downloaded
so
than Tetris.
possible.
Tetris is the most
If they
downloaded game of
didn't
all
do,
time.
if they didn't do 5, I think they probably should have done 3 because that starts like modern era Rockstar
Sure.
and their big
Yeah.
open world.
I feel like San Andreas is the
third-person
first
games.
big one, though.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
first one
If you're
that
going to
took
go
off.
influential, San Andreas, I think, is
Also,
the one to pick.
I really appreciate the Skyrim pick, but at 17, like, I mean, also, why can't we just do? We're doing duplicates everywhere. Let's just do Elder Scrolls Oblivion and Skyrim.
Yeah.
And
there were more
Morrowind,
in there too.
and-
Yeah.
Daggerfall.
Daggerfall
Arena?
and
Arena. Yeah.
yeah, Arena.
What is Elder Scrolls 1?
Arena.
That's Arena.
Is it Arena?
Yeah,
That's it?
yeah.
I believe so.
All right, so what are we rating this list? I'm feeling not solid about it.
This
First
is
of all,
not good.
including 2 things in one item is a big no-no for me.
Yeah, that's
I can't-
cheating.
I don't like that
It's
at
a
all.
big mistake.
Yeah.
You can leave it out for the Portal one because either one of those is
Yeah.
still going to be really high on the list.
I'm a big fan on lists. If you want to have a series, pick your favorite of the series and put it where it
Yeah.
goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's.
This
I
is
mean,
like
it's,
I'm feeling like a solid like 4.
Oh man,
I was going to give it
four.
a 6.
You want a
yeah,
6?
I was thinking. I think there's
It's
a lot
not
of good
bad.
stuff on here. There's
Yeah, no.
not a lot that were way like Far Cry 4. I think is the only one that I was like,
That's the big
why is that on
standout.
here? Like, get that out. Everything else was at least like good.
It's just so random though.
It is. I
It
mean,
is
maybe.
random. I feel like
Honestly-
any list of best games of all time is going to be really random, though.
That is true.
What's Owen's rating?
I mean, I think it's
Fine, out of
not
10.
great. Yeah, there's a lot of things missing in my opinion.
I need a number.
4.
4. 3 4s, 2 6s.
Split the
So
difference. Call it 5, baby.
4.5. 4.5.
4.5.
That
is-
works too.
4.5 out of 10. Man, rate that list. Bad list. Okay, that's fine. Good. I love subjective lists. I was looking through lists and I keep finding these things that are like, here's the 20 or 10 biggest video games of all time by file size. I'm like, all right.
They're all
cool.
Call of Duty games.
Interesting.
Mostly
Yeah.
Call of Duty
seriously.
games. Oh. By the way, okay, so I had my little intro and I'd written some things in here. Did you guys know that Sports Illustrated has a video game section?
I
No.
didn't.
No.
I'm very
And I had
intrigued by
literally
this.
no idea.
Did they just talk about like Madden and
No, that's what I was talking about in the intro. Is they specifically the title is Starfield being 30 FPS on Xbox is a complete non-issue.
How so?
yeah?
I mean, if
When
you're
you-
a console gamer, that's just what games run at, right?
Sure,
So,
sure. There, it's weird because you would just expect that would be the argument. Like, you don't even really need to write an article, really, because you kind of expect going into it you're going to be playing it.
I've
30
seen
FPS.
like a shift on consoles. Everybody expects 60 now, whereas I expected 60 like 2 generations ago.
ages ago. Honestly, once you
And I
once you
feel
get
like
used
there's
to
always
60,
Yeah, 30
Yeah.
30 FPS apologists on consoles until this generation of consoles, and then now everybody's like, why is it not 60?
Yeah.
it's one
Well,
where if you've played with 30 your whole life, who cares? You're used to it. It,
Yeah.
it looks fine. You're just being elitist. But then once you hit 60 and you try to go back, you're like, garbage.
Yeah.
It like hurts my eyes.
It's weird because the article, like, again, you would think it would be like, oh, it's console. People are used to this frame rate. It's not a big issue that they're only playing at 30. No, it goes into it and it says the starting line to like the 6 subsequent paragraphs where they talk about why is, quote, the thing is, we've never had a video game quite like this before. And they go on to justify why that is the reason that it's okay that it's 30 FPS.
We've had 100 games like this before.
Yeah. What is that? That's nothing.
Bethesda has made a lot of games.
What are you talking about?
This is just Skyrim meets No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
We've done
They
it
keep
before,
talking
guys.
about how it's greater than anything they've done before, but it is just what they've done before.
It looks exactly like what
Yeah.
they've done before.
They have not
every
changed much.
Shouldn't every game that you make, you strive for better than anything you've done before? Because if you're making something that's not as good as what you've done before,
If you know
is
it's
it quality?
worse, like
Why would you release it?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally like a
That's their fault.
concept of the Bethesda style RPG
Mm-hmm.
as like a whole concept.
I think the best argument I've heard for why Starfield should be 30 FPS. So just in
Chad.
time. Nailed it. But the best argument I've heard is that it's in the lore that the whole universe runs at 30 FPS. That's like canonical.
Okay, that's excellent.
That's okay.
That would have been a great argument.
Yeah.
I'm really upset about this article. I'll send it to you guys so you can read it. It's a really bad read. Oh, Chad, Sunny D Vodka Seltzer, why?
That sounds horrible.
Why does that exist?
Why do you do this to yourself?
Sunny D's a
sounds so
children's
bad.
product.
Okay, can I just
Great.
read the last paragraph? It's 2 sentences. One of them is basically a
Yeah.
run-on, but it's 2
Sure.
sentences.
Please do.
In a world, man, in a world.
It's going to be a good sentence.
In a world where the majority of AAA games are focusing on just pushing the graphics of linear games where you follow a predefined story, Starfield is looking to push what is even possible in an open world game, striking a balance between tailor-made missions with handcrafted cities to explore and huge procedurally generated planets. Quote, if you want all that, it's 60 FPS, you can always buy a PC.
Wow. Also
If you want
incorrect.
better things, stop being poor. Don't you know that's the obvious solution?
Gosh.
So
I
weird
feel
to
like-
hear. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I feel like most big AAA games are roasted these days because everybody's trying to do games as a service, not like
Right.
this sprawling RPG thing.
It's so
Man.
weird to me to have defense articles come out before the game is out.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, don't say 30 FPS is fine until you've played it and decided it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, what
For
are you
what it's
doing?
worth, you know, like,
it may be fine that 30 FPS is okay because that's how it would run on PC also.
That's how Cyberpunk
I'm-
ran.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna be surprised.
I think, like, you know, even bad PR is PR. I think in this case, like, Sports Illustrated's video game section, they're like, hey, let's get like an article out there that just absolutely makes no sense. It's just stupid nonsense. People
Yeah.
will read it and talk about it. And here we are. It works. It worked.
And then people like you will be like, "Did you know Sports Illustrated had a video game section?"
it's true.
You gotta stir up the pot.
what
Let
you've
them know
done,
you're
man.
there.
Yeah, look what I've done. I've told this to our thousands and thousands of listeners. Sorry, guys. I do apologize.
Don't tell
Other
your
things
friends about it.
from the list, also I wanted to mention, did you guys know it's been 4 years since we had a announcement about Metroid Prime 4?
That's crazy.
That's upsetting.
Yeah.
It's upsetting.
I mean, we'll get there eventually, but it just makes me sad. I'm so ready. It's okay. It's
Did
all
you
right.
play the
They put
remake?
out a
for,
a remake.
Prime?
I did. I didn't play all the way through it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You call yourself a fan. Embarrassing.
yeah, right?
Wow.
This is why they haven't made
He
4
played
yet.
the game before.
Yeah,
It's acceptable.
Not the remake, though. No. They changed a bunch of stuff. The ending's different.
100% of that game on. Was it on GameCube when it came out? It was GameCube.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, a couple things in news realm. I wanted to touch quickly on Reddit's API changes because I mean, it affects everybody who's on Reddit, but it is some quite interesting adjustments to their API charges, what they're actually doing for people who want to use the API for their apps. Alex, do you want to dive into this? I'm sure you've read a lot more than I have, but
I don't have specifics, but I know that they've changed what it's going to cost. And for instance, like the developer of Apollo was going to owe something like $20 million to keep his service running for like, I think that's for like the next year or something. Or but he calculated it out, and even if he made everybody pay the subscription that's optional on the app, that still doesn't cover the costs for each user based on how many API calls that they use. So pretty much they're pricing out all third-party apps. Like any of the third-party apps on phones are shutting down come the end of this month when the changes go into place. And there's been like a big like protest pushback in the community to try to get Reddit to change their mind on this. It doesn't look like they're going to. Like the CEO has said, like, you know, people get mad about things on Reddit all the time. It'll pass, sort of situation. But there's thousands of subreddits that have gone private. So essentially, any of those resources that you liked to browse before, you can't now.
Yeah, it's been rough, man. I was trying to download a mod for Sims 4, and it wasn't working. And so I was like, oh, let me go to Reddit to figure out what the solution is, because people have done this there and they post there, and I couldn't go. It wasn't there. Was sad.
Yeah. I've spent like a dozen hours diagnosing server issues over the past couple of days, and the amount of times I click on a link saying, oh, that is the exact thing I have, and then it's like private subreddit, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so frustrated right now.
Yeah. I feel like this is how you cause another website to pop up that's just going to take all of your users.
Yep.
I mean, maybe. The thing is, like, Reddit's not the first social media company to do this. Twitter was the first one to do it.
Yeah.
Elon Musk introduced like $42,000 a month for API access, which is an astronomical amount of money. Most social media apps charge in like the 3 digits. Like if you want API access to Instagram, it's like a couple $100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And Instagram is an absolutely enormous platform. Why they would do this? I mean, I guess maybe they just wanting to push traffic back to their own app.
That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah,
because they must have known this pricing. No one was going to be able to afford it.
Yeah. Part of the controversy is that we all saw the Twitter stuff happen, and Reddit came out in advance and said they weren't going to do what Twitter did and price people out of it. And then I know Twitter's like way more expensive still. It's like, what do you say it was, 48,000 or something a month?
$42,000
$42,000. I think Reddit was somewhere around 12,000 for whatever block of API calls you can get out of that. But that's still like way too much for like these small devs of third-party things.
For what it's worth, on the Twitter side, that was just the introductory charge. So a whole bunch of the third-party apps that use Twitter's API ended up shutting down. And then later, Twitter rolled out like a $5,000 a month premium for API access. So they went back. But at that point, all those third-party apps were gone. Like, nobody's supporting them anymore. So it's just... Yeah.
I mean, Reddit says they're not profitable, which is the primary reason they're making the change.
Well, I mean, if you're using like Apollo or Reddit is fun or whatever, you're not getting the ads that Reddit, which they bought Alien Blue. Like we used to be using Alien Blue, and it switched over to just the Reddit app because they bought it out. And then there's like very big sponsor ads when you're scrolling that take up basically the whole screen. Honestly, like I've been using the Reddit app, like the OG Reddit app, Alien Blue, into the one that they have designed. And after seeing like Reddit is fun and Apollo and stuff like that, it is a much better browsing experience, and like the UI and UX is just way cleaner and better. But I've never really had to look into that or like wanted to. I'm TikTok came out, so like I don't need Reddit anymore.
So the protest was supposed to be 2 days long, and that is since passed. But Reddit has made no budge on their position, and a ton of subreddits decided that they were just going to keep on going an indefinite amount of time, just to try to see what can be done. So I think it was up over 8,000 subreddits that had gone dark at some point, and now if you go to Redarc, If you Google that, like over 5,000 are still either restricted or private.
My For You page was, do they call it a For You page on Reddit?
It's your page or home.
Whatever. Yeah. It had one community on it.
Oh,
That
no.
I just opened. I forgot that this was happening, so I opened up my Reddit app and I started scrolling. And I'm like, why? There are so many posts from this community right now, and I just kept scrolling, and then I was like, oh wait,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Apollo's shutting down this month, right? Like next couple of days or something.
June 30th. That's what they said.
I did find it interesting when I was reading through his article. He talked a little bit about like even if he charged people a premium, he would still be at the point where he was just barely in the black.
Yeah.
So, and people already pay for the app. Like if you buy the premium access. I don't remember what you paid, Alex, but I don't think I ever paid for the premium access because it's like a one-time purchase.
It was a one-time purchase, and he's like a really good developer and constantly updated stuff. So I tossed him the money, and then I got like fun colors and stuff for theming. So
change your icon.
I gotta think too, like all of the free users would probably have had to switch over to paid, and like that's not gonna happen. Like you're not gonna get everybody who's using Apollo to actually fork up some cash. So it's probably the best decision to shut it down, unless Reddit reverts it. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I think the CEO actually came out on Reddit and did an AMA. And,
did he?
Yeah. Brave man.
Oh, he did. And it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a don't you have phones moment.
Yeah.
Classic.
Also, while we're on social media, we should probably talk about the Twitch TOS changes that came out on June 6th.
Yeah. So I, as iDraxis, am no longer going to be streaming on Twitch, I don't think. I, as you all know, gave up affiliate a while ago because I wanted to simulcast and I wanted to be on TikTok. If I was paying for a premium restream, I could be on Instagram, Facebook, Kick, YouTube, like everything, and I have a lot of discoverability there. Twitch came out and they're like, hey, yo, we know we said this. We know we said you could simulcast. Another thing is that they actually came out and said that you could simulcast if you were affiliate, like, I don't know, a couple weeks after I got rid of affiliate, but I just didn't feel like going back through the process of getting affiliate. Anyways, they're like, we know we said this a while ago, but we're coming out and saying that if you are a user on Twitch and you are going to stream, you will be banned if you are simulcasting. That along with a thing that they have since rolled back, but it was kind of questionable and really severe, is they actually came out with branding guidelines where you couldn't like have baked in brands, and they had to be certain sizes, and they had to be like pretty much discussed almost with Twitch before even going through with it, which, most streamers don't, when they do the hashtag ads, they don't talk to Twitch really. That's just between them and the sponsor. But they were like, yeah, it's a little too much. We're going to bring that back. You got, if it's between you and your sponsor, you're good. It's fine. But the simulcast thing is very questionable because if you think about it, you try to go and watch, the new games show or something, or E3, or I don't know, some tournaments, or even especially like the small time tournaments where it's broadcasted everywhere. Those things have like sponsors on all the different sites, and they're able to be put on because of the sponsors. And now this TOS change is basically saying, nope, you have to stream only to Twitch. And so we're going to see less and less tournaments and stuff like that because not going to be the money forked over. Or alternatively, which we were discussing about Reddit and seeing new sites or new apps coming up, there's going to be something like Kick that is basically coming out and saying, hey, if you're a user on our site and you're getting viewers, we're going to pay you $16 an hour. We're actually that's a thing that they're going to do. They're going to start, if once you get partnered, like boom, you're good to go.
Wow.
It's also, I think they've said it's like a 90-10 split instead of the 50-50 that Twitch had. I mean, they're doing a ton of stuff over there at Kick. They're also gambling. So
they're very aggressively trying to take market share, and they're backed by a lot of money. So
yeah,
they might be able to do it.
They're backed by like anybody in particular that's backed them?
They're backed by some huge gambling site. I forget what it is. Is it Stake?
Maybe, I don't know.
Big gambling site. Gambling, it was a whole controversy a while back on Twitch because gambling got really big and then they banned it. And these companies were making crap loads of money off of, like, I don't know, and I want to say innocent people that get tricked into going to these sites and gambling, like to try to be like their streamers that are given free money to gamble with on the site.
Mm-hmm.
So they needed a place to do that. So now they got their own place.
When you said backed by big money, I thought for a second you were about to say, yeah, this is run by the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia.
Oil barons.
It's George Soros.
I was just listening to a podcast where they were, I don't know if you guys know, but PGA Tour just merged with Live Golf, which is like a really, really big deal in the golf world.
Oh, it's huge. They are so upset about it.
Yeah, everybody is. But anyway, the reason they did is because PGA makes no money, but Live Golf is backed by the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia, which is just basically an infinite pile of money. So, anyway. Okay. Other things in news. We should probably talk about all these games announcements, games festivals. There was a lot going on over the past 2 weeks.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Honestly, all right, listen, I am all ears because I have heard nothing. I have read nothing. I have watched nothing.
Buckle up.
I want you to know,
Beat
I
me.
looked at our forecast notes and I glanced at it, didn't actually read what we had in here, and I was like, oh, we don't have a lot of content.
Yeah, that's what Aaron said.
Aaron
Well,
said the same thing.
Well,
And we said, you shut your mouth. This is going to take a while.
Summer Games Fest. You want to start with that?
Yeah, sure. Whichever one you want to start with. Lead
the
me
first
through
big
it.
one to happen was Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest.
Also known as Key 3, I found out.
Key 3. So good.
What a good name.
We saw a lot from that. There's a new Prince of Persia game they announced called The Lost Crown. It's a Metroidvania action game. They went into a deeper dive in a later show. I don't remember which
The
show.
Ubisoft show, I think.
Ubisoft's their game.
Yeah.
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft show.
It's a 2D side scroller, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks
Cool.
They've said it's going to be Metroidvania-like. 2D action platforming.
Big exploration focus.
Mm-hmm. Supposedly coming out in January.
It looks really slick. The gameplay.
Yeah,
Oh,
the time powers look really fun to use, actually.
What's that game that we played? It's like Dead something.
Dead Cells?
Dead Cells. It kind of has that vibes with like the movement and stuff like that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is the main character modeled after Jake Gyllenhaal?
That's the joke I made when we were
That
watching
is exactly the joke.
We were
Caleb
watching it,
made.
and he's like, why is this not Jake Gyllenhaal? It
I
can't
mean,
be
that's
Prince
the
of Persia.
only way I can think of Prince of Persia is Jake Gyllenhaal. That's it.
Mm-hmm. The problem, man.
Only way I can think of Prince of Persia is All American Rejects. When darkness turns to light.
Oh my gosh.
Backstory is that was the only album that we had on our Xbox at the time, and so we would use the Xbox music while playing Prince of Persia.
Yeah, you link those forever, huh?
Oh yeah.
We saw Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay for the first time.
Sure did.
Still glad it's being called Mortal Kombat 1.
So it's the first one that they've ever made.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
a total
remake.
reboot for the series. Gameplay looked fun though. Very
Yeah,
gory.
I mean, it looks like Mortal Kombat. They added like this weird, almost like a tag team system. You basically have like an assist. You pick like a second person who you can tag in, and they just assist.
They're called cameo characters.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of the name. It's really common in like tag team fighters where you pick like 3 characters and you can switch between them during the fight. But this, you're still only fighting as one guy. You just have this like assist move that you can do.
The assist guy can be the guy you're playing, apparently.
Yeah,
Only,
so you can
only
have
some of them, though.
Sub-Zero with Sub-Zero versus Sub-Zero with Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Sub-Zeros.
Yeah. They showcased Path of Exile 2.
Barely. Like, I don't know. There was some lightning on screen and the person slowly walked away from monsters.
It was a teaser of tease.
Exciting. All right.
What other good stuff they got? They got a new Sonic that actually looks pretty good.
It's
You
2D.
missed
2D classic Sonic.
2D Sonic.
You missed the other fighter. Exoprimal Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, Street Fighter
Yeah,
stuff's
why is
coming.
that a thing? It's so weird.
It's like Mecha Ryu, and then there's a mechanical dinosaur, or is it just a regular dinosaur? I forget. Weird.
I honestly don't remember. Yeah, it's the weirdest fucking thing.
Very strange.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage was on stage.
He's going to be in Dead by Daylight as a survivor.
And he's like, I want you to know every grunt coming out of that character model is me.
What was the verb we used? We're going to fuse together?
We're going to be fused.
Oh my gosh.
What a
guy.
weirdo.
Greatest actor of our generation.
He was so weird.
He was.
What's some of the...
They showed more from Witchfire, which is coming early access in September. It's looking really cool.
That one.
The first-person shooter.
Doom Mage game.
There's a different Dune Mage game.
Okay, it's one of the Dune Mage.
Immortals of Vivernum, which I didn't think I would ever remember that name, but
look at you go! I'm so proud.
Yeah, that game actually looks pretty sick.
Speaking of showing absolutely zero gameplay, they revealed Throne and Liberty. That's awful.
MMO.
That's the new Smiles Gate.
Bad rap.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, real bad, real bad. Alan Wake 2?
Alan Wake 2. That was one of the big ones.
Very excited, actually.
From that.
They showed a bunch from that, yeah.
He plays not just Alan Wake, he plays a different person. I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but some cop. He plays both. You can swap back and forth.
Can we talk about the best
Saga
part
Anderson.
of that announcement? Where the Sam Lake, he's the Alan Wake guy. He makes characters he rhymes with. But he was talking, he dropped some character's name and turned to the audience and waited for cheers, and everyone was like, we don't know who that is. Literally no clue. I had to Google it. It's a fictional character that the fictional character of Alan Wake has written.
Yeah.
So it's books by the fictional character Alan Wake.
It was definite secondhand embarrassment because you saw his face guys.
Everyone was like, it's not even like a plot point. It's so nothing.
Got to be deep in the Alan Wake lore.
Alan Wake.
They showed flashlight gameplay, so that's back.
Yeah. As Jake pointed out, you can use your flashlight and shoot at the same time.
Yeah,
that's a
don't
plus.
think that was in the first game. Yeah, dude. 21st century.
Holy man, wow, that's excellent.
So, am I misremembering? Did they say this was their first survival horror game?
Yeah, they
did say that.
What a weird
Which
thing
made
to say.
no sense.
Remedy's first survival horror game ever.
Not Alan Wake 1.
Yeah,
Alan Wake
not a survival
2.
horror for some reason.
All right, I mean, I wouldn't have called it survival horror, but I kind of assumed Alan Wake 2 would also not be survival horror, so I guess we'll see. Who knows?
It's more survival-y horror-y than the first one.
They showed a new trailer for Remnant 2, which looks really cool. It's coming out July. This one has a class where you get a dog as a companion.
Yeah, the class is called Dog Boy.
Class is called Handler. Thank you very much.
Okay, fine.
There was a trailer for a game that looked like it was in the colonial ages, and it was kind of Soulsy-like. And then there was a ghost companion that was with you, and there was a little bit of magic, and he has a rifle on his back, it looks like, but it's kind of, everybody was like, Bloodborne 2? Banishers, Ghost of New Eden is what that's called.
Banishers.
Man, we gotta get someone who knows how to name things out there.
There's so many bad names this year.
Well, what about Like a Dragon Gaiden?
Yeah.
The man who erased his name.
Whatever. I don't know. I genuinely don't know why they decided Like a Dragon was catchier than Yakuza.
Yeah.
Yakuza was quick, and it told you what it was about. It's about the Yakuza.
Also, Yakuza penetrated the market already. It made it overseas to the US. They did a bunch of remakes and stuff to seed it.
Why rebrand now?
It's so confusing because Like a Dragon is just the name of the last one that starred a different character.
Yeah.
And now this is about the first
confusing.
character. And it's
So
a
strange.
spin-off of a different character. I don't know. Just call it Yakuza, guys. It was a good name. It's so weird.
There was a interesting concept actually revealed under the name of, I'm going to butcher this, Lisfanga.
Lasfanga, I think is the way they said that. It looks really
basically, you play through once, you kill things, and if you die, it rewinds you, and that clone will break off onto that path that you just took. You take another path, and then you just start having clones go and kill things while you take another path.
Yeah.
So it's just like what is that one game, the shooter that you guys played?
It's like a 3v3 shooter where you're in an arena, right?
Oh, yeah. Time something. Time Gate? No, that's not it.
Time Splitters.
Yes, I was just about to say
Splitters. Oh, yeah. Lasfanga looks awesome. It's like an isometric hack and slash. I don't know if you said that.
It did look cool.
Looks cool.
A lot of time mechanics in games lately.
Yeah, there have been. They showed John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, another co-op zombie shooter.
Yeah, we haven't had enough of those, so that's good.
Yeah. It does look like it might have some kind of vehicle combat situation going on, where you build up your vehicle and travel around and stuff. So it might have a neat mechanic or
Could
two.
be all right.
That's so possible.
If it leans way into like the campy 80s action movie stuff, maybe it could be unique enough. I don't know.
They showed Pow World. I don't know how they got away with this because
Oh
it's
my goodness.
literally Pokemon with guns.
Oh, yeah.
Like
the exact Pokemon, named ones.
like models that you would recognize from Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. That's
I don't know
So
how they got
strange.
away with making this game.
And it's not even like a small thing, like indie thing that they're releasing quietly. It's like on the main stage at Summer
Yeah.
Games Fest. So weird.
Is there no like likeness in video games that
That's
people
what
can
I
send a
was
cease and
saying.
desist for?
I mean, I don't know. Because you would think Nintendo's litigious as hell.
Yeah.
If there's a
Right.
way to sue them, they'll sue them. But I don't know.
I mean, like in music and in like actual people, actors, likeness is a major deal, and it's very easy to succeed at a lawsuit for that. But this just wow. I'm watching the trailer right now. It is just. I mean, it looks like copy pasted.
Mhm.
Yeah. There are so many where we were like, oh, look, there's an Eevee. There's this other Pokemon. It's just like, they're the same.
Yeah.
Weird.
There's another Bloodborne too. Lies of Pi.
Lies of P.
Lies of P.
Lies of P. Yeah, my bad. I
That's
was
just the letter
talking
P.
about Life of Pi the other day.
It's a
Lies of P.
Pinocchio game. About
Yeah.
Pinocchio.
What? It's not cyberpunk, but it's There's a different steampunk.
Steampunk.
Yeah.
Steampunk,
Yeah,
yeah.
it feels steampunky.
Yeah, it might. I think there's one called Gaslamp, which it might be closer to, which is like it's kind of the Bloodborne feel.
Lies of P is like Pinocchio, but Pinocchio is like a Timothy Chalamet lookalike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'd watch a Pinocchio
there's a demo
movie,
out
like a live action
for it.
Pinocchio with Timothy Chalamet. 100%.
There's a
was-
demo out
how was the
for
demo?
it. It's not bad. If you played, there was a similar game that came out a while ago. There was
Steel Rising?
Steel Rising. That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
It's very, very similar to that one. So it's a decent Souls-like. I wasn't too sold on it, but neat world at least.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
guys-
I'm always down for more Pinocchio.
You guys can
Geppetto
probably
is in
tell.
They
I've
talk
been-
about Geppetto a lot.
I've been reading from a list over here. You guys probably tell.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, was that mentioned?
Yes.
We
That
haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
That was their big like one more thing end of the show announcement.
Yeah.
Was
Okay.
that the second part of the sequel that they've been making forever is coming
Yeah,
out? I'm like,
I
yeah.
I skipped over this because it's like smack in the middle of this list, and I'm like, guys, save it for the end.
There's second part of the remake. That's gonna be 3 parts now, I guess.
I believe
Yeah.
so. It is.
It
This
says
one's
coming-
coming on 2 discs.
Oh yeah, it is coming out.
Yeah,
too.
they mentioned on 2 discs at the end of the trailer. So-
Excuse me?
on two
On
discs.
Come again?
Moving on. Baldur's Gate 3 announced Jason Isaacs as voice actor talent in Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh.
Yep.
I love
Known,
Jason Isaacs.
known for Harry
Yeah, he's
Potter.
great, but
That's
Lucius
the thing you
Malfoy.
listen from, huh?
Oh, yeah.
or the captain from Star Trek Discovery,
Absolutely, it
Captain
was.
Lorca.
You would have been
Oh,
mad
sure.
at us then, Aaron. We were literally watching it. We're like, I feel like this guy's a big deal, but I have no idea.
Don't remember
Who he is.
who he is.
Had to Google him.
There was a segment that I had a huge second-hand embarrassment And it was of this dude who came out on stage. He was like, bruh, I love winning at games. I always win at games. And then he revealed a Marvel Snap.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that
I
guy.
talked about Marvel Snap for a while.
That guy was really high energy.
Yeah,
There's one
too
part
high
where he
energy.
laughed, and I was like, please no.
Speaking of cringe stuff, they had like a trailer for the Twisted Metal show.
Oh
Yes.
my
No.
Lord.
gosh,
Does it look bad?
So bad.
Oh, it looks terrible. Holy
man.
shit.
dude.
It looks like a pity watch.
Who's the voice actor for?
It's
Sweet
Jason
Tooth?
Arnett.
Oh,
Sorry, Will Arnett.
Arnett.
Excuse me, I don't know why I
Okay.
said Jason.
Yeah, it's just
you
some.
combined him.
It's just some big
Jason
boy.
Isaacs.
Oh, Jason
But
Isaacs.
then
that's
he's
why.
not the voice.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like there's a man in a mask. He doesn't get to talk though. Let's
Yeah.
put Will
It's not Will
Arnett over
Arnett
the
in a
top of
mask.
him.
It's a big beefy man in a mask.
So weird.
Weird.
Anthony
That's-
Mackie
that's
is
too
also
bad.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
I
Which-
freaking loved the game Twisted Metal, like all of them. Twisted
Oh,
Metal,
yeah,
Twisted
they're
Metal
great.
Black.
Yeah, but do you need a movie
A lot
on
of fun, man.
I mean,
Did you? What's
not
your favorite
No.
part? The plot.
but
The
I
plot
thought-
of Twisted Metal.
when I first heard about this, I thought, who knows?
It's
Could
probably
be
just going to be a funny death race.
We know now it's going to be
Probably.
awful.
Good to know.
I mean, it could be so bad that it's funny. That is like the one
Yeah.
possibility
be.
because this trailer was abysmal. I don't even think it will be because I think the trailer's trying to be funny and
I
it's
think
like
it is.
aggressively not funny.
I mean, at this point, Peacock can pretty much do whatever it wants because it doesn't really need to release any other shows to be successful. With Yellowstone and Poker Face and what's the other one called? Based
Love
on a true
Island.
story.
Oh,
No, Love Island.
Or the shot.
They're fine. So yeah, why not? Twisted Metal. All right, I'll give it a try. I'm sure it'll suck.
I'm
There
sure
was a
guaranteed.
couple games that were already out that they released season trailers to. Fortnite was one that everybody was in chat spamming for. Fortnite, The Wilds. All right, cool. Transformers. I think did they actually go to whatever I don't know. I've given up with Fortnite. That's fun.
Like part of the map fell in on itself, and there's like a
Yeah.
big jungle and stuff.
Like whatever the
Yeah.
Cybertron or whatever the
Yeah, it's Transformers.
Transformers planet realm is.
Cybertron, you had it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call of Duty Season 4 trailer release, which was actually kind of comedy gold because I'm pretty sure they still have Nick Merckx and Tim the Tatman's skin in there. So that was good
Well
stuff.
then,
I already made the trailer. Like, they can't really help it, you know?
yeah. There are ways to fix that, I guess, but whatever.
Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. I don't think anybody played the first game, but for some reason people were excited for this one.
Aren't they? Who is excited?
I don't know. There's
Alex.
like a niche community. Also, I found out that bolt gun game that's been at the top of Steam for a bit is like in the continuity of Space Marine 1 and then this game.
Oh,
Oh wow! Now I gotta
that's
get
kinda
it.
cool.
that's the boomer shooter, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it looks awesome actually.
Okay, I have a question because I'm ignorant about Final Fantasies, and also I think it's kind of acceptable to be ignorant on Final Fantasies because of how many numbers there are and whatever. Anyways, I mentioned Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, but then I scroll all the way down, and they do have a Final Fantasy at the end, and it's
That's
Rebirth.
Rebirth. Yeah.
Ever Crisis
That's
is
the
something
new one.
else.
Didn't
Yes.
we also just talk last episode about how even the studio that makes Final Fantasy doesn't really get the lore?
Oh,
That's for
the new game.
16, Aaron.
Yeah, it's for
not
16
Ever
coming out.
Crisis or 7 Remake Part 2.
Sure.
Idiot.
16 actually got a demo and is looking sick. I don't know. I'm kind of
16.
hyped
Got
for it a little bit now.
him.
So are you going to go back and play all?
No, all the Final Fantasies
I
are
don't know how
pretty
many
much
games
like
it's
More than
self-contained.
15.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
think-
sure it is.
I don't know if any of them are interconnected, other than obviously like 13, 2.
Yeah, when they interconnect them, they
10,
put
2.
another number after the end of the number. So
13-2?
yeah,
Yeah,
10,
there's
the
10
second-
and 10-2, and then 13 and 13-2 are
Yeah.
things.
Whatever.
Come on,
Well,
Aaron.
dude.
Try to keep up. Try to keep up, please.
Whatever.
But yeah, they're all independent. There's no interconnected lore. Well, maybe there's some, but No, I don't know.
There's a video that just got put out where like the combat director on the game got handed hard mode boss and was like just ripping it apart, like perfect parries everywhere.
Oh wow,
making it look really flashy. Like he is actually like very good and competent.
Wow,
and it seems like he put that into the game. So
okay. Have you tried the demo yet?
I haven't.
Okay,
I've been meaning to.
I'll get you homework for next time.
Yeah.
Is it full real-time hack and slash? No more
Yep.
menu at all?
Yeah. So the only one I've played I played a bit of 7 Remake. Basically, it's like you can basically just like attack and build up combos, and you sort of build charge for a special attack, which you can pick from a menu and use like that.
Okay.
So it kind of blends the two. I know Final Fantasy 15, I guess, had a lot of like, I think it worked the same way, and there was a lot of like teleporting in and out, switching party members.
This might go a step further. I don't know, because they've said something about how like this is their first real action RPG or something like that, or first fully real time.
Something like that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Something to that effect.
Okay. I mean, it sounds cool. I'm gonna try the demo as well before next time.
What else we got in here? Anything important?
Do we Spider-Man 2 was this one as well, right?
Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yes.
One of the funniest trailers I've ever seen.
Thing.
It opened on like a jungle, in the middle of the jungle, and I was like, it's Spider-Man 2, guys. Obviously, this is Manhattan. And it just goes and goes, and then it ended up being Spider-Man 2.
It looks like it was a Turok game. I don't know.
Yeah, Caleb said Turok. Hilarious. Because who's the bad guy? It's Kraven.
Kraven. Thank you.
I also wanted to say Krang, not Krang. It's Kraven. He's a hunter.
He's just a normal guy who's a good hunter.
He's
and
good
he
at
goes
hunting.
to New York to hunt superheroes and supervillains.
Because he likes to hunt.
Because he likes hunting.
He hunts some animals for a long time, and he's like, this is boring now. I'm going to hunt super-powered people.
He's basically the bad guy from Jumanji. Let's, like, what are we doing? So dumb.
Yeah. What is that guy's name?
I just call him Robin Mustard.
No, yeah, the bad guy from Jumanji, Alex.
Come on.
Gosh.
Jumanji
And not the new Jumanjis.
Hunter. Van Pelt.
That's
a good name.
That's right.
That's way better than Kraven.
Man.
But I mean, Spider-Man 2 looks cool. You play as both Peter and Miles.
Yeah, you can, like,
Peter
swap pretty seamlessly, it seemed like.
Yeah, it seems like you can. It looks almost like it's going to be like Grand Theft Auto 5, where you can switch between characters on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
Except for in like story missions and such. But Peter has the symbiote suit, so he's got the black Spider-Man stuff, which makes it look like it's just prototype, like the game prototype.
Very cool.
Which, like, cool. All right, yeah, I can get behind that.
It looks like really aggressive, fun gameplay using the suit.
Oh, and you get to hear the voice actor for Peter Parker do his bad guy voice, which is
slightly
hilarious.
lower.
Very great. He does not do a good job.
No, it's pretty bad.
Love it.
All right, finally time to move on to the next one.
Yeah. Alongside Summer Games Fest, Xbox Game Showcase happened just a couple days ago, I think.
On the 11th.
Yes, pretty recently.
Yeah, 11th. I know we got footage, I say footage loosely, of Starfield.
Oh, they did a lot.
They showed
on
a lot of
Starfield.
They showed a full hour of Starfield.
Straight hour. Yeah.
Hour. Wow. Does it look good?
It looks
Who knows?
so much better than what they showed last year.
Yes.
Yeah, what they showed last year was embarrassing. Better. This year, only some of it looked really bad.
Yeah.
Yes. Only the combat looked really bad. Everything else looked good.
Excellent.
There's still that... I mean, maybe this is just me, but it has that, like, No Man's Sky style mining, where you shoot a rock with a laser and then pick up all the small rocks, and I'm like, that looks awful.
Mm-hmm.
And the lip syncing looks ripped straight out of Oblivion. Just like random lip flaps.
The facial animations are still awful.
Yeah, it's not good. But
somebody mentioned they might not have even upgraded engines, and man, that would be ridiculous.
I thought I had heard Starfield was still on the same engine, but I don't know.
That would be insane.
I can't imagine, but who knows? It looks like it could be cool. They're doing like a trait system, which like if you played Fallout New Vegas, it's basically like you pick up a trait that gives you a buff, but also kind of like a downside. That's how it worked in New Vegas anyways. It seems like they have a ton of them. One of them is just you get the fan from Oblivion. You know, that annoying guy who followed you everywhere?
Yes.
You can just get him.
Same voice actor and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They implied that you should take him out to the middle of nowhere and shoot him in the back of the head.
Yeah.
They did.
Wild. Absolutely unhinged.
It did seem like the trait system would have a lot of story impact, dialogue choices and such associated
Color me
with them.
skeptical. I bet they're each gonna come up like 3 times a piece, like across the whole game. I bet. Because that's always how that shit works out. It's like you remember Cyberpunk? It's like, oh, pick your beginning and it'll impact all this stuff. It's like it came up 3 times and it was just a dialogue option that didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was useless.
I know all I wanted to see was them to like look at something very far away and then say, you see that? You can go there. And then they actually did that in this presentation.
They did not.
They did. Yeah, there's this like solar system floating out there, and then look at that moon. You can even go to that moon. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I love it. Still doing this bit. They mentioned that they have 1,000 planets that you can visit, and we were all discussing like very skeptically how that's going to work out. Like how much of this content is handmade and how much of it is going to be like garbage, like empty planets. Like how many spots on a planet can you land?
Is it going to be like another game? Let's see. What's the name of that game that had thousands of empty worlds?
I mean, Mass Effect, one of them, had like, oh, hey, here's a bunch of planets, and you could like go over there, and you could take the little Marco around, or whatever the fuck that thing was.
Yeah, it's like an empty wasteland you could drive around for a bit.
Yeah. And so I have to just assume that there's just like a lot of those worlds. Like, there's nothing really going on, but if you wanted to, you could, like, take the thing out and take it for a little spin and then come back.
I mean, they did show, like, handcrafted areas. Like, they're like, this city's, like, the biggest city we've ever made. And I'm like, yeah, of course you'll have that in there. But how many of those locations are there out of, like...
elsewhere,
the 1,000 planets that you're touting? Like, how big is the game, really?
Listen, they're playing the long con, all right? They're not going to release this game fully, right? It's still it's already out, kind of, but it's in beta, or is it not out at all? Is this something different?
Okay. No NPCs to start.
No, what's opposite? They're not going to release the game for years still. AI is going to get so good that we're actually going to be able to populate with just like random AI generated, and it's like actually good AI generated, because like AI is going to be at such a level that we're just gonna have little pocket worlds on each one of these planets.
I was thinking about this just like a couple weeks ago because I looked up how much Star Citizen had fundraised in the month of May, which was $20 million. And I thought, at $589 million and 10 plus years of development, do you think there's going to be a point where they're just like, they don't need to develop anymore? They can just have an AI develop everything for them. No. And then at that point, it's like, what are they even raising money for? What are they paying for? API access? Probably.
I mean, have you seen the Photoshop generative fill stuff?
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
That stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
I was thinking, insane. I mean, this is a Bethesda game. It'll probably have tons of mod support, like usual. I was thinking, like, what if in, a decade when they're re-releasing Starfield for the 5th time, if there's enough mods that they actually, like, fill all the planets with, like, interesting stuff, that'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you know what this reminds me of? Do you guys remember Oblivion? How it had procedurally generated dungeons, and it just meant all the dungeons sucked? That's what this feels like to me. Yeah. Like, I'm shocked that they did not learn their lesson. I mean, I guess I'm not that shocked.
Procedurally generated stuff is better nowadays.
That is true. Be fair. Is Bethesda better these days?
We'll see. Very skeptical.
Jury's still out.
Game Pass day one, baby.
That is true. The fact
true.
that I get to play it for $5.
So
that is true. Huge.
Wow.
We get access to it for mad cheap.
That's
dude.
incredible.
You can't do it for $1 anymore, but you can do it for $5.
Day one. You couldn't even get Jedi Survivor on EA's Pass, EA Play or whatever. Day one, unless you had Pro, but you can only do Pro through their app, which is stupid.
I mean, after Redfield bombed, this is the one Xbox exclusive that matters. So
I guess that's true.
Can you imagine if this? Well, I think it's already pre-orders are already in like the millions. It's already sold like gangbusters.
I was gonna say I saw a thing that apparently like the sales of Xboxes spiked like 1,000% or something stupid because of it. They were like, yeah, people saw it and was like, this has got to be the best.
I hope they're right.
Is it?
I hope it's good.
Is it actually? It's not an Xbox exclusive though, right? If you have PC, you can play it, right?
Yeah,
it'll be on PC.
Wild,
all of Xbox's stuff
Xbox
is
nowadays.
Also on PC at this point. They're pretty much a service company at this point. They make software and provide Game Pass.
Yeah.
Speaking of service company and the software that are producing, there was a whole Xbox show.
Yeah,
started off
Starfield.
Yeah, started off with a banger, Fable.
Yeah, new Fable game.
Now, is it just titled Fable, or is this like Fable 4?
They're just calling it Fable.
It's a reboot of Fable, it seems. It's made by the Forza Horizon studio.
Oh, can you play as a car?
The trailer was narrated by Richard Ayoade. I don't know if you know who that is, but
I love that man.
An excellent
IT
tone
right?
for that. Yeah. Excellent tone for that trailer.
Do you think he's actually... Wouldn't it be cool if he was actually in the game?
He's in it. They showed some gameplay.
Is he?
Of him.
Yeah, they showed him.
That's actually really
giant.
cool then.
He's some giant that you have a fight with.
I haven't watched any of this trailer, but after you said voice actor, Fable, and really good, I'm thinking Bastion voice? Bastion narrator voice?
No, he's like
no.
He's like a actor, like a TV actor.
Comedian.
He's on like the actor crowd.
Yeah.
Bastion narrator voice. You just play that game for that. I mean, you only have to play the game for the gameplay.
That's true.
They showed a cool trailer. They didn't have any gameplay in it, but it's called South of Midnight. It was like a stop motion trailer.
Oh, that's
creepy.
the what's the name of that studio? They did. What was the game they did before this?
Yeah.
Hold on. It'll come to me. I don't remember.
This is not the tone that I thought Fable was going. Holy, all right.
We Happy Few. Thank you. There we go.
Oh, it's the We Happy Few people?
Yeah. Is it?
Really? I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Did Microsoft buy them?
I bet.
They must have.
Man, they must be. Hopefully this one turns out, huh?
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yep, now an Xbox game studio.
We got info on the Cyberpunk expansion, which actually looks pretty significant.
Ooh. I have information on this.
Phantom Liberty.
I might play that game in a year or something.
You should wait until
after the expansion comes out.
Expansion comes out.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are literally rehauling the game. No system is left untouched.
No system left untouched.
They're changing
no system
the
in their
AI,
game is left
changing the way the police work.
Perks are getting reworked.
Perks
to
are
some
getting
extent.
reworked. Vehicle combat's going to be a thing.
Awesome.
I got you.
Will I see splashes when I shoot my gun into the water?
Oh my gosh. All right, so all the core main systems of the game have been redone and updated in a major way. The biggest ones are the perks skill tree, which have been rebuilt completely. The next one is we've added vehicle combat, which honestly, if the combat feels as jankety in the vehicles as it did the first freaking scene that you play in that game, it's going to be bad. But if it's a better engine or whatever, it might be good. We've also redone the loop of the whole progression in the game. The difficulty curve is different. The tier and drops of loot is different. The archetype of enemies is different. Those are the core things that we've changed. And if you look into a few systems we didn't change or update, even though they said all the systems, none are left untouched. At the end of his statement, he says there are a few systems they left alone. So
they got Keanu Reeves back. in for the story, and it's not like an insignificant amount. Like from all the previews that I've seen, like he's fully through it again. So they paid big bucks for that. Plus they got Idris Elba.
Yeah.
I was about to say I don't know how they afford that, but then I remember the sales of this game, and I
got an anime series and all that.
I think my question is that because like I saw a dev mentioned that this is the version of this game they wish they launched with.
Yeah.
Which is cool and all, and they're doing all of this stuff, and they're like, hey, we're rehauling the entire thing. But I don't know. I already beat the game. I don't have any inclination of going back. Like, I understand that they've redone it all, but I was like, why would I give a shit?
Just
like,
pick
I
up
already
your
played
save
it, beat
and
it.
move on to the expansion. That's you're the target for that. I mean,
it is still a CD Projekt Red expansion.
Yeah,
it'd probably be good.
If they do it like the Witcher expansions, you could start a fresh character and just play the expansion if you want.
There we go.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be a smart way to do it.
I do think if you watch the trailer, huge spoilers. And honestly, I wish I didn't watch the trailer just now. Just because I feel like there was an ending to the game. There was first of all, everybody knows CD Projekt Red, you have choices at the end of games, right? I mean that's just a thing, right?
I'm pretty sure this takes place during the story of the game. For what it's worth.
Weird. All right. So the endings are still final?
I think so. I think that's what they've said.
All right. That tells me something different then. Anyways, I'm right on the CD Projekt Red having choices at the end of their games, like Witcher or whatever, having different various end game choices, right? Or is that something new that they did with Cyberpunk?
There's different endings usually.
Okay. Because there's like vastly different endings in this one.
Yeah. And
so like, without spoiling anything, like one of the things that they said, I was just like, huh? Okay.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to play that game finally.
Yeah.
I mean, I played for like 10 minutes,
Me too.
I think. I don't know what my actual playtime is. I gotta look this up now.
Since we're on the RPG section, Obsidian's putting out an RPG called Avowed.
Yeah. It looks like Skyrim.
It looks a lot like Skyrim.
Looks like Skyrim.
To a T. It looks like Skyrim.
But written by Obsidian, so...
I mean, I've got high hopes for it. The biggest issue with Skyrim is that it's not very well written, and a lot of the quests are pretty boring. So Skyrim with good writing? All right.
Obsidian hasn't missed in so long. Their games are awesome.
They know what they're doing. They're good at this stuff.
Something that's excited not obvious about it. From the trailer, it's set in the Pillars of Eternity world, I found out afterwards. If you are into Pillars of Eternity, it's a pretty cool world. Pretty interesting, actually.
It's got fish people.
That's
all I could tell you about it.
Anything else exciting from the Xbox?
We forgot about the big one. Fallout 76 news.
Oh, no.
They're still supporting that game.
They're going to Atlantic City.
Yeah, dude, there's like 12 people still playing it.
Millions?
They're gonna be
sorry.
so excited.
That thing said millions?
I'm sure it did.
I thought that was a Star Wars Outlaws joke.
Star Wars Outlaws got announced.
Yeah, it's an overall Star Wars game. What was Fallen Order? I guess that's not open world?
It's not super open world. It's like Metroidvania.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more sandbox.
Whatever.
This is a Ubisoft game, so it's going to be, an open world game. That's all they make.
Yeah.
Go. Because this is off topic.
I was going to say the game of the show for Jake. I wonder if he can even remember what it was.
I have it written down. Is it Metaphor Refantasio?
Oh my gosh.
Let's go. This is the dumbest looking JRPG I've ever seen. It's made by Atlas, who's the Persona guys, and it is inscrutable. I could not tell you anything about this game except the main character surfs on a sword. How's that work?
Pointy ears.
I genuinely don't know. This game looks like a hot mess. The menus are like hard to read, which seems bad. I don't know. But like it'll probably be I'm worried it's going to end up more like Shin Megami Tensei, which is the other series they do, but that series seems to take itself really seriously and have like really in-depth combat mechanics, which for a JRPG I think is actually kind of a downside. Because I would rather just like go have fun with the fun flashy combat and not be like, oh, I've got to like spend 5 hours looking at spreadsheets optimizing my party and grinding. So we'll see. It has a stupid name. It has a stupid aesthetic. And maybe it'll be great.
For some reason, Overwatch dared show their face.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Uh,
What were they thinking?
They
Come
announced
on.
their story
missions
that are coming in season 6, and also alongside that put out an article saying they're going to charge $15 for the 3 missions.
Excuse
Yeah.
me.
So
Pay us money.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
We have
man.
to cover all of the lawsuits somehow. Come on.
that package is like, it's 3 missions plus 1,000 credits for the shop. So that's a battle pass plus there's a skin in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is like
It's
a
not like the
$50
worst.
value.
That's not the worst
Yeah,
value
based on their
for
market.
anything. And they've always said they were going to charge for the PvE, so I guess.
Yeah, but we thought it was going to be like good PvE.
Yeah. Here's
Thought
my
it was gonna be
question.
more archives.
Is Retribution, their best archives event, is that worth $5? I don't think it really is.
No.
It's like
That's a good point.
15 minutes long, 20 minutes long. And like I've replayed it a lot, but that's just because I felt like grinding it, not the PvP, because I wanted to unlock cool skins. But now that I can't even do that, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's awesome and it's great and it's definitely worth $5. But so far, nothing they've made has made me say like, oh yeah, their PvE will be good.
Yeah. Big doubts.
I see here Sea of Thieves is still making content.
Yeah.
Rare's teaming up with LucasArts, and they're coming out with the Legend of Monkey Island. If this is anything like the Legend of Jack Sparrow, it's gonna be good and bad at the same time. I mean, I feel like the quality at which the storytelling was, and like how the storytelling was like rungs up from what Rare has produced in their game with the Legend of Jack Sparrow. But at the same time, it was still like, go here, start mission for like 15-20 minutes. Now you got to go somewhere else, start mission, play mission for 15-20 minutes, instead of it being just like a self-secluded campaign. You were still in the world where you're PvPing like in between. It's weird.
I feel like Sea of Thieves is still releasing content because they have to compete with the upcoming amazing release that is Skull and Bones.
All right.
So I don't feel like they have a choice, you know?
Preview for the
Forgot about that game.
Ubisoft discussion, they brought out a band on stage to play a song over the top of like 2 minutes of Skull and Bones footage, and then said nothing about the game, and then moved on.
No, they did not.
That was all they said about it in the whole presentation.
Incredible.
They did, at some point, it must have been after that, they announced that there was going to be a beta for it. I think it's in like September or something. They've already canceled the betas for consoles. It's just PC now.
Great.
Hilarious.
So
Just cancel it, guys.
what a game
What are we
it is.
doing?
is Skull and Bones foreshadowing everybody that works on this game going to be out in cardboard boxes looking for
I
food?
think so.
Maybe. Yikes.
Back to the Xbox thing, there's a game that I'm pretty excited for. It's called 33 Immortals that they showed off. It's not really like anything else I've seen before. They call it like a pick up and raid game. 33 player co-op.
Is this going to be out before Extra Life?
I think it's next year sometime, so no.
Darn. Well,
But-
Extra Life next year.
It's like a top-down, hand-drawn, kind of looks like maybe Hades style combat. 33 player co-op. I watched an interview with Phil Spencer where they talked about like he dynamically split up into different groups to go accomplish different objectives, and then it kind of forces you together to fight a big boss.
Oh, that's cool.
It seems cool.
Are there orbs?
I don't know.
You got to
Yeah,
ponder the
probably-
orbs.
I'm guessing it's not going to be like super mechanic heavy because I want it to be
Symbology?
like, pick up and play. But
It's made by the Spiritfarer and Sundered people.
Yep.
So it's definitely got that same aesthetic. There was a game that looked really cool called Still Wakes the Deep by the Chinese Room, the people who made Amnesia Machine for Pigs.
Mm-hmm. And Dear Esther.
Mm-hmm. It looks like a Soma-esque creepy first-person horror game.
Okay, I'll play it.
Yeah, right?
Really like Soma.
You don't got to twist my arm.
They showed off Bioshock Infinite. I mean, Clockwork Revolution.
It is Bioshock Infinite to a T, to the point that I was swearing up and down it was Bioshock Infinite 2.
Mm-hmm.
I would not hear otherwise. Everything they showed was just Bioshock Infinite again. Wild. I mean, maybe it'll be good. Bioshock Infinite was cool. I could play a second one.
Yeah.
But just, like, weird.
It's made by the Wasteland people. In Exile Games.
There's another Like a Dragon game.
Yeah, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is what it's called. This is actually a sequel, though. This isn't like a weird side-quel thing. Side-quel prequel. This is a sequel, and it looks like it takes place in Hawaii? At least partially?
Yeah, that was the guess, right?
Let's go. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea, but all the characters spoke English, except for the main character who spoke Japanese, which really suggests that he's not in Japan. Mm-hmm. And also, I don't know how that's going to work, because I'm probably going to play it dubbed. So that'll be weird. That'll be confusing.
They're really just trying to release Bioshock again, huh?
Oh, I mean...
No, it is so bizarrely similar.
They think we're dumb. There's the Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think the only thing I have written down that we've not talked about yet is there's a Persona 3 remake coming. Which, that'll be great. That'll be awesome. I've played Persona 3. A remake of it will be great. As you just update the mechanics to be more in line with the more modern games. Because in base Persona 3, you could control your character, and you could sort of make suggestions for what your party members would do, but they would always do the wrong thing and just ruin your game plan. There was one character I straight up couldn't bring, because I would have an enemy on the ropes with like 2 health, and she'd be like, I'm gonna charm him. And I'm like, that has like a 2% chance of working, lady. Please just hit him. So hopefully they fix that. That would be really cool if they fixed that.
You didn't want to talk about the Chibi Persona 5 game?
I don't want to talk about Tactica. It's like a tactics Persona game, but rather than going with the Persona 5 aesthetic, which is super cool and everyone loves, they made it chibi, so that way it looks terrible. I don't know. Maybe someone wants this. Like, it could be good. It just looks really bad.
Pretty much all I had for that one.
Yep.
We also talk about the last one we had here, which is Ubisoft Forward.
Yes, not a ton here.
It's such a pretentious name for a game show announcement game. They
did a deep dive on the Prince of Persia game, which again looks very cool. They showed Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which I forgot was a game that was in development.
What? How could you forget? Everyone's so excited about the new Avatar video game.
Man, I thought it was so funny. They pre-recorded James Cameron this time instead of letting him walk out on stage and just ramble for 20 minutes. So funny. That game it's a first-person like action adventure game. I'm still not really sure what it's meant to be. Is it like a story that you go through? Is it some sort of like, survival crafter, play at your own pace?
Can I tell you what it is?
Yeah, sure.
It's Far Cry. They just made Far Cry again. Like, as soon as I started the trailer, I'm like, that's Far Cry. This is Far Cry.
Now that you say that,
that's exactly what it looks like.
Does look a lot like Far Cry. I don't know. Animations looked nice. It was pretty.
Sure.
It seems weird.
It's almost like Avatar's a terrible pick for a game franchise.
It normally is.
The whole thing, the entire time I was watching it, it was just like slightly uncomfortable for some reason. I couldn't place my finger on why. I don't know. You're a child of both worlds, though, so you can use like bows and arrows and machine guns. So that's cool. and you can fly on
both worlds.
Can humans not use
animal
bow and
thing.
arrows?
No, they
No,
can't.
they're not
It's a
allowed.
special universe where you're not allowed. to
Yeah,
use
they
bows and arrows.
evolved beyond it.
They're not allowed to
I
use
see.
bows and arrows. The bows and arrows are surprisingly effective against mechs, by the way.
Yeah, what is that?
Excellent.
Speaking of Far Cry, they announced Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix.
Oh yeah,
It's,
I forgot that existed.
Far Cry Blood Dragon anime made by the Castlevania showrunner. So,
Ooh,
could be good.
Castlevania
Weird.
showrunner, huh?
To make a show based on Far Cry, I feel like. Especially
Yeah.
Blood Dragon.
Dude's
Yeah.
segment where he announced it was so cringe. Oh my goodness. They showed off Assassin's Creed Mirage, which I think is like their next big Assassin's Creed, maybe.
Doesn't
Yeah.
look very impressive.
You know what it looks
It
like?
seems
it
like
looks
way lower budget than their mainline Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, it's definitely no Valhalla. Is that what it was
Yep.
called?
Yep.
That's good name. Yeah, good
Nice.
stuff.
You got
Yeah,
it.
it looks like it's returning to like original Assassin's Creed.
Right.
The thing is, it looks like every other Assassin's Creed you've ever played before. Like
Yeah.
it just looks like if you told me they were remaking 2, I would have believed you. Like the only thing they added was like a mark and execute kind of feature, which like, I mean, really, it just takes away gameplay from you. It's like, oh, I want to kill these guys, but I don't want to play your game to do it. Can you just do it for me?
Yeah. And they got a mobile one and they got a VR one. Both look really bad. The VR one was just CG that didn't look like anybody was actually playing it. They showed the crew, which nobody cares about because Forza exists.
No.
They showed X Defiant, which actually I'm like kind of interested in. Everything I've heard about X Defiant, they are very passionate about it. They really want it to break into the FPS market and make a big splash. And they're putting like a ton of effort behind it. And they've run like 20 some betas already with like people that are familiar with the genre and want, know like ins and outs of what makes things good. They talked a lot about like specifics of time to kill and stuff like that.
It's a class-based arena shooter, right?
Yeah, basically. It combines like all the Ubisoft properties, which I think is a fun idea. So they've got like, the Splinter Cell guys and like the Division guys and, all the different military people from different Ubisoft games coming together to like push a payload or whatever. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited for that. There's a beta coming up soon. So like I said, they sung over Skull and Bones. That was terrible. There's a mobile Division game. Why?
You have phones, don't you?
It's a good point.
That's like the same vein as the mobile Warzone game coming out.
Yeah. And then
So bad.
the big thing that we all waited for was like gameplay for this new Star Wars game, which actually looks pretty good.
It
Yeah.
looks good.
I was very impressed, actually.
Oh, Outlaws.
Did you hear the specific tone in
Star
which
Trek Outlaws.
Owen said that?
Hey, it was a positive tone, first of all.
It
All right,
looks
just want to
good.
put that out there. All right, there wasn't too much of a pause between
Yeah, there wasn't.
words.
Yeah, so that's how you know.
Yeah, I just read about how there's going to be a wanted system, and then the more like wanted you are, the more Imperial troops will be around. And I'm just like, oh, fam, I am going 5-star, like full wanted. They better start sending like Sith Lords after me. Like, let's fucking go. I am excited.
It's like an action shooter, and then you also have like a little pet guy that can do things for you. So it looks interesting.
Looks pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Is there, those were our 3 main game showcases. Is there anything else? I know we have other game announcements listed here, but was there something else that somebody wanted to bring up?
Yeah, there were some other shows. Most of them don't have a ton of things worth talking about. They did like the PC Gamer show and stuff like that. Frostpunk 2 got a teaser that got announced. That's pretty exciting. If you care about Vampire Survivor-like games, there's Pathfinder Gallowspire Survivors, which is set in a Pathfinder world. New auto shooter. It looks mildly interesting. Human Fall Flat 2 got a teaser and announcement.
When's that coming
we'll
out?
have more Human Fall Flat forever for the 24-hour stream.
We'll always have
they
maps to play.
They
Heck yeah.
didn't give a date. They just said they were working on it.
You know, as long as they can make a map that we can't just somehow blaze through.
Brute force.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we do. We brute force the map. We're like, we don't even care. Is there something we're supposed to do here? Who cares? Somebody climb on top of this other person, climb on that person, get over the door. Push the button. Hurry up. Get to the
They
next
did
map.
confirm it was still going to be 8-player co-op, which is nice. And they said there's going to be a brand new physics engine, so
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
true.
new ways to
That'll be
break things.
That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
The Ape Out people are making a new game called Baby Steps, which is a literal walking sim, like a QWOP style walking
Great.
sim.
What?
Say more, fam.
Weird choice. I think it's also the Bennett Foddy. Is that the right name?
Yeah.
Also working on it, I believe.
Can you repeat the company and then what the game is? Because I don't think I ever could have expected those words to be spoken in order in the English language.
It's the Ape Out creators. Remember that game, Ape Out?
Oh,
Okay.
that was good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Baby Steps, and it's a QWOP style.
right.
You know what QWOP is?
Yeah.
QWOP style.
He's still on
uh,
board? Okay, he's
walking
still here.
sim game.
Yep.
Yeah. It looks really goofy, so it could be really funny and really good. Guess we'll have to see.
Like if aliens learned from this podcast language, like just that right there would confuse all of us.
Let's hope this is not the podcast that aliens get a hold of.
God.
Give him anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
They're just like, yeah, we heard about this QWOP out. What do we do with that?
Citizen Sleeper 2 got announced.
Really? I missed
Mhm.
that one.
Yeah, I think it was in the PC Gamer show.
Okay.
So that's super exciting. I don't think they had a date on it. I think they just said they were working on it and had like a story trailer.
Exciting.
And the last thing I have is that Dead Cells is getting a short animated series made by the people who animated the trailer, which is a really cool art style, animation style. So if you're into Dead
Interesting.
Cells,
Interesting that I brought that game up earlier.
that could be
Dead
cool. I
Cells
know.
continues to get more weird stuff.
Yeah,
attached to it.
right.
I didn't realize Dead Cells was so big.
Yeah.
That's huge, man.
That's so strange to me. But okay.
Chad, you want to re-update us on the Twitch
Yeah.
TOS?
Went on to Twitter for the first time, while you guys were talking about some games I just didn't care about. And I hadn't been on Twitter all day, so, I clicked on here and boom, right here, there's some Twitter talking to us. And I just wanted to read you guys a little paragraph here. First, introducing the Partner Plus program, which we just were talking about how it was a 50-50 split for partners and subs, but we'll take a listen. Today, we're announcing the Partner Plus program, a new program for streamers to build towards as they continue their growth in their business. This new partner program benefit will offer 70% share on net subscription revenue to streamers who meet the qualification criteria. So basically, they're doing a 70-30 split. And this is going to be, let's see, streamers in the Partner Plus program will receive 70-30 revenue share on net subscription. Recurring monthly subscriptions and gift subs, blah, 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 for 12 months up to 100K. To qualify, partners must maintain a sub count of at least 350 recurring paid subscriptions, which honestly, from the streamers that I look at in the top 1% realm, is not that much. They usually get way more than that. Once that happens, partners will automatically be enrolled for the next 12 months, even if they dip below the threshold. So I guess they are a little worried. This is rolling out October 1st, 2023. And you can qualify in July, August, and September leading up to October 1st to get into this program. So yeah, the world's been a little rocked lately. So I guess
it says Prime subs and gifted subs don't count.
well,
And also, you won't get 70-30 of Prime.
Oh.
that's like a large portion of subs on that site, man.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I can't.
350 flat subs.
I don't know if that makes sense or not, because I mean, you get the Prime sub for paying for Amazon Prime, right? So
Yeah.
or like, so like they already have the money, and then once a month, I don't know. It's basically like they're taking a chunk out of that Amazon Prime just to give it to the streamer. So I don't know. I feel like they should just give the Primes 70/30.
Yeah.
One more thing in the news section, because somebody brought up one more thing earlier, but I did.
my gosh.
We haven't had a chance
Another
to talk
one.
about Apple's Vision Pro,
Oh yeah.
No.
and I just wanted to like just briefly get you guys' thoughts on a $3,500 AR headset that is clearly marketed towards businesses and not personal use.
What do you mean? I have one right now.
It's it's essentially a dev kit right now. Like, this is not meant for consumer to buy.
Right.
Even so, 34. Okay, the other thing is, like, Apple
that's
usually
nothing
like
to a corporation, right?
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, Apple usually waits, right? Somebody will do something, and then they come along and they do it better. For them to be like, all right, this space is not even really utilized all that much, but we're going to develop a headset specifically for this application right now. I mean, I guess with a $3 trillion valuation, it doesn't really matter what they do. They lost $84 billion in the 10 minutes during Tim Cook's announcement. $84 billion off their stock price.
It is somewhat a unique announcement for them to come into like a segment that's basically untouched, instead of just like putting the Apple Touch on a product that exists already, like iPod, or smartphones or tablets or
watches,
smartwatches. But
Bluetooth head earphones.
So I watched the announcement when they did it live, and I was like scoffing, because I was like, this is not leaning into any of the current VR stuff that's out. You can't like use your games or anything, really. It doesn't seem like. It's like 2D essentially. It's not really leaning into like the ability to do 3D stuff with the headset. And it looks kind of creepy because you can see your eyes through it. Like they reproject your eyes on the other side. And then I saw the price and I was like, this is insane. Who would ever buy this? And now I've kind of come around on it, because I realized what they're pricing it for, and it's developers and corporations, and who they're going up against. And it's basically like HoloLens and Magic Leap, who HoloLens is $3,500. Magic Leap is $3,200. And there's other headsets out there that are professional grade that are even more expensive. There's one that I saw being advertised that was like $6,000. So for like the types of stuff that they're doing, it seems priced appropriately, especially because it's like so much better, it looks like, than the competition right now. The screens in it are absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like them. They're postage stamp size. They're higher than 4K resolution each. You can put your entire television, 4K television, inside the postage stamp size of the thing and still not fill up the rest of the pixels. You can put like 64 pixels in the space of an iPhone pixel. It's crazy, the density. It's like 800 PPI or something like that. And from first hands-on impressions that I've seen, people that put it on are like kind of blown away by the clarity, and how well like windows that are floating in the environment feel natural.
Weird,
because they do a whole bunch of tricks too with like displaying like a window, and then they'll like shade the environment and stuff to make it look like it's natural, like, and it should be there. And then they can do the thing where they like enclose you in like a mountain range space and stuff. And I don't know, it just looks very ahead of the game right now. I can't wait for them to do a much cheaper version of the product in a few years and see like what developers do it for apps and stuff.
You think they'll actually have a much cheaper version of the product?
I think they'll do like an SE or something that's going to be affordable by a regular person.
What is affordable by a regular person from Apple to you? Like, give me a number.
I think you just gave them an out by saying an Apple person.
I could see them targeting like a Quest price range, like whatever Meta's doing at the time.
That's insane.
To try to.
That is insane. I mean, an iPhone is $1,000. A MacBook Air is like $1,200 to $1,500.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna be like, $300, $500, whatever?
I was thinking like 600, but you're right about the iPhone, so maybe closer to 1,000.
I would not expect that it will get below 1,500. That's where I think they land. I mean, it's a pretty intense piece of technology that they clearly can price out their competition, and they don't even really need it to be successful. Early expectations for them, it's like it's going to add $40 billion to their market cap. Ooh, cool. How crazy.
Does it not seem more likely that they would just... This one's just like the weird, really expensive one, and they'll make a new one that's like a more reasonable one that they maybe want to sell to people?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah, they'll have like the SE version that's like all plastic and, you know.
Low pixel density.
Still cannot imagine with that amount of tech in that thing that it's going to be less than an iPhone.
Yeah.
Wild. We'll see.
They own all their own pipelines, so maybe they can do something at some point.
Force it down.
Yeah.
Child labor.
We'll see.
Excellent. Let's take a quick detour into film here real quick. Owen, you haven't spoken in like an hour. Do you want to talk real quick about Lord of the Rings marathon?
Yeah. You know, I embarked upon watching the Lord of the Ring trilogy
in 4K HDR,
extended cuts.
Okay,
all of them, because you know that's the only way to go. Shout out to Alex for helping with that. And yeah, you know, those movies hold up pretty fucking good, man. Like they're great films. For those that don't know, there is a new Magic set coming out tomorrow that is based on Lord of the Rings. So I was like,
I had no idea.
Let me you know, refreshen my Tolkien knowledge, which is about zero, and kind of go into this. And I was watching it and I was like, wow, like, you know, the things that they did, the practical effects that they did to make it look realistic, to make it look as good as they did, especially the first one. Like, after watching the first one, and eventually, like a couple days later, we watched the third. The third doesn't look as good, and it's definitely because they added more special effects. Like, you can tell that it's like, if they just stayed away from the special effects and did a little bit more practical like they were doing in the first and the second, you know, I think they would have done a little bit better. But still, like, A, those movies are great. B, 4 hours is long for a film. So thank you for making it slightly shorter. Because goddamn, I don't know how you do. I don't know how you take this in the first place and you make it into a film, because like the first book is already insane. And then, you know, you just do it for the next two. So I just thought that's absolutely crazy. I mean, so what? You missed Tom Bombadil, but like, who remembers who the fuck Tom Bombadil is other than who read the book? But yeah, like 10 out of 10. If you haven't watched it in a while, I highly recommend.
Time for a rewatch.
If you're still on the fence about Lord of the Rings, you heard it here first.
Go back and watch it.
I have an outstanding birthday present from I think 2 years ago. That Janae is supposed to watch the Fellowship of the Ring extended edition with me. But it hasn't happened yet. But I'm working. I'm working.
See, here's the thing: is I said I was gonna put it on. 'Cause I wanted to watch this with Allison, but I was like, here's the trick. So I put it on, and she was like, I'm just gonna do my thing over here, and like maybe like I'll watch it with you. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I just put it on, and she's like kind of like peeking over, kind of seeing what's going on. And by the time that we got to the blanket on the name, but with the little like ruined circle tower, and Frodo gets stabbed in the shoulder. She's on the edge of the seat with me, being
Spoilers.
like, "Got stabbed."
Gosh.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I got her. Mission success.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Aaron. I think like offers like that kind of expire.
They do.
I don't.
They do
I don't
not.
know if you're getting that watch time.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I think also, Aaron, did you know? I just thought I was, of course, going down this rabbit hole of everything that like has to do with the production of the movie and like all of the things. Did you know that they originally wanted to make a trilogy with Stanley Kubrick as a director and the Beatles as actors for the film?
I heard about that.
An interesting.
I thought that was fucking bonkers. Like, could you imagine John Lennon with little glasses and being like,
Yeah. No, that would have been. No, but Frodo, this is the farthest I've ever been from the Shire. It wouldn't have delivered the same.
no,
Man.
hey, June, this is the farthest I've been. It's not the same. Not the same at all.
What's happening?
I don't know, we're just
Beatles impressions. That's what's happening.
let's move on to talk about video games. Do you guys want to talk about the game that we all played during the What Have You Been Playing Lately? Or you want to talk about it right now?
We can wait. I don't know. We can leave it to the end.
That part's next, so it's
all we're all together now.
What have you been playing lately, Jake? We're starting with you.
Oh, great. So all I've played lately is Street Fighter 6. I played a lot of Street Fighter 6. I have a lot of thoughts on it. Alex, do you want to talk about it at all before I ramble about it for like an hour?
We played.
It won't be an hour.
We've been doing fight nights irregularly, consistently. And we played 5 a while back, and it was kind of low on my list of ranking of fighting games. And then this one came out, and everybody was talking such hype about it, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's pick it up. And man, I really dig it. I think the best part about it is the modern controls, which I know you and Sam are already moved off of not using anymore. You're doing classic. I'm still using modern. They're awesome. Okay, you can do special moves with no complicated inputs. You can do auto combos. Like, it lets you just get into the game and enjoy the fighting game. And like, the pace of Street Fighter is such that you can really focus on the unique mechanics that are in this, like drive impact and the parries and positioning and hit confirms and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. We've had really intense moments in matches where we've like perfect parried into perfect parry into a combo into a super, and it looks like we're professionals. And it's been a blast. And I don't feel that bad for playing modern controls against these people that are playing classic controls, because you get a penalty of like 20% damage when you use the controls that way. So
is that noticeable?
What's that?
Is it noticeable? Does it feel bad when you hit somebody and do less damage?
I don't think it feels bad. There's still like certain characters, Marissa, Zangief, stuff like that will chunk your health even on modern controls. Like, also, the first time we played, I went and played Zangief and won like 8 in a row.
Yeah,
because I can press one button and instantly get like the full circle grab. It's crazy.
Yeah, if I hadn't read that there was a damage nerf on it, I wouldn't have noticed. I don't think.
Wait, there was a damage nerf before you guys played, or modern? Oh, okay,
modern controls, you automatically get 20% less damage.
I thought what he was saying is whatever Zangief's attack was got nerfed, and he didn't.
No.
Also, like your drive meter, you use up drive meter to do things on modern controls that you wouldn't use the meter on with classic controls, like specials or auto combos. I think are the big thing.
The auto combos have built in, like, it'll automatically use your super if you have super, or it'll automatically use, I'm going to say, the EX version. It basically is like a souped up version of your special that takes meter, but obviously if you're in classic, you can make the call whether or not you want to use that version or combo into your super or whatever.
Right.
Whereas in modern, if you're just doing the auto combo, you're kind of married to it, It
doesn't use more than you would if you did the same moveset. It just
No,
You don't have
it's
the
just
option,
the medium auto combo is boom boom EX move into your level 2 super. And if you're like, oh, like you could just drop the combo early maybe to not use your level 2 super. But you know,
that's your soup
options
meter
are
on
a
the
little
bottom.
less.
The drive meter on top for like all the drive mechanics gets used up by auto combos. Whereas like if you did the combo manually, you wouldn't use that. And if you run out of that meter, you get put in like a
it's called burnout.
Burnout state.
It's almost like a stamina meter almost. And basically once you run out of it, you're just really vulnerable. There's like this, it's called drive impact. It's basically this big charge move, and if it hits you, it'll like stun you. And the way you can counter it, you can block it and it'll knock you way back, or you can drive impact back to basically counter it, and then you get the drive impact. You can also, if you hit them, like, I think it's 3 times, you can break the drive impact. It's just, that's really hard. You have to basically be ready to do that right away. And so obviously the issue is if you don't have any meter, you can't drive impact back, so you're super vulnerable to it. I think it adds like a lot of cool texture to fights without adding a lot of complexity. Because like anyone can hit a button and do this drive impact move. You know, without any mind games or anything. It's just, oh, I see them using it, I use it back. I can figure that out. Whereas with the professionals, you know, you can see there's like mind games of like, when do you use it? You know, you try to bait it out and then you can counter it. I think it adds a lot of complexity without necessarily adding like execution complexity, if that makes sense. Gives you a lot of options, I guess, is what I'm getting at. I have a lot to talk about this game. I love it. It just has so much freaking content, which is so rare for a fighting game. Like freaking, I talked about Guilty Gear Strive is the other one we got really into. The story mode is just a 3-hour cutscene. It might be longer than 3 hours. I don't know how fucking long it is. But it's just like a video game cutscene that you sit down and watch, and it's not interactive. Like, that's the whole story mode. Whereas this game, obviously you have all the online stuff. So all the online versus, all these online modes that you can play. Then you have a full RPG, which is what I've been playing mostly. I'm like 20 hours into this RPG. I'm doing like everything there is, and I'm having a blast with it. There's a full arcade mode where basically you pick a character, you do a series of random fights, and there's like an opening cutscene and an ending cutscene. I've never really liked arcade modes, but it's there. Some people like them. I don't know. There are classic arcade games in here. There's Street Fighter 2, Final Fight, and Puzzle Fighter are the ones I know off the top of my head. Those are all playable in here. I don't know. I think that's cool. But it's just so great to see a fighting game that actually is like content rich, whereas usually it feels like they're very content poor. They're like, okay, go play your online, whatever. We'll put in an arcade mode too, I guess. I guess talking about I'll talk about the RPG mode a little bit here, because I think I'm the only one who's played it of all of us. It's basically you create your custom avatar and you go out. It's like an open world. You can fight anyone on the street and you basically level up. You can pick a Street Fighter character and basically become their apprentice. And as you fight with their style, you gain points that you use to unlock new special moves of theirs. So like at the start, you're Luke's apprentice and you know how to do a fireball and an uppercut. And as you fight using that style and using his special moves, you'll unlock more dialogue options with him, and he'll teach you like, oh, here's how you do my level 1 super. And then if you go, you'll get his level 2 super, and you'll unlock more of his moves. And I think that's a really smart way to do it, because to me, one of the hardest things about fighting games is actually learning all the moves. Because you start and it's like, okay, here's Chun-Li. She has 500 moves and a stance. And then all of her base moveset is different from any other characters. And so you've got to like juggle all of that. Whereas here it's like, don't even worry about it, dude. You've got 2 special moves and all your punches and kicks. Like, just play around with that for an hour. And once you get the handle on that, you can come back and you'll get something else that you can start to play with. So I think that's really smart. You can also mix and match between characters. So like, just as like a for instance, Dalsim, the Indian character, has like a teleport move. And then you can apprentice with Zangief, who's the grappler. So you can combine those to teleport behind characters and grapple them immediately and basically kill them in one hit. Hilarious. Absolutely incredible. Like, it's absolutely busted, and they couldn't make a character like that. But since it's a single-player RPG, who gives a shit? It can be crazy, it can be stupid. I guess on that note, though, you do have the option to go online and play other people's avatars. Just there's like an avatar battle mode, which I think is so fun and so funny, and you can see people's
matter because people have like 3 health bars because they're super high level.
Yeah,
and other people just have 1.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's very balanced or fair, but I'm sure it's a blast.
No,
yeah,
it's like whatever, man. You go fight your avatars.
That's what I said. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, because if you want like an actual challenge, you're gonna go and do ranked or play with the actual balanced characters.
Yeah, I mean, I also read another cheese strat is make your character with the longest arms possible, and then give her the weapons from what's her face,
Lily,
and you can basically like punch across the entire stage.
Yeah, no, it's dumb stuff. But so I guess all that being said, to me, what is really, really great about this is how beginner friendly it is. Like, the modern controls take away a huge hurdle that used to be there. The RPG mode gives you a really safe space to get in there and practice and learn your basics and learn your fundamentals without just diving into the online and getting bodied for like 12 hours straight, you know? There's a lot of really good learning tools baked in there. There's obviously like combo trials for each character. And something really cool that they did here is that they added something called character guides, which is basically just like a tutorial on like, it's not just like, okay, you can do medium punch, heavy punch, and that's a combo. It's like, you know, Cammy, she has a really long reach on her medium kick, so that's going to be your main poke move, and your game plan is basically poke with that until you can get in and unleash this combo. And it basically walks you through, like, here's how you actually want to approach a fight with this character. Which is really cool. That's the kind of thing you would have to go on YouTube to find before. And people who really like fighting games usually aren't that good at explaining that to people who don't know fighting games. They just throw out all this terminology and they talk really fast and they'll just show a combo and refer to moves by name, and I'm always like, I don't know what we're talking about. I just wanted to know, like, what do I do? How do I start this fight? So having all of that in the game itself, I think is fantastic. But yeah, I'm loving it. You guys should all get it.
Everybody buy Street Fighter now.
Yeah, just do it.
Man, I'm actually really intrigued by the easy entry into this genre of games because I don't play fighting games. I hate button combo. I just literally button mash when I play those games because I don't understand anything. So I'm just like, whatever. Sure, punch.
Sure.
Ryu, you want to throw a fireball? Classic controls is quarter circle forward punch.
Yeah.
1 button on modern controls.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It throws a fireball.
That's really cool. Okay. All right. Caleb, how about you? What have you been playing?
Well, after the Citizen Sleeper 2 announcement, I decided to go back and finish Citizen Sleeper 1 because they released 3 DLC after the game released that tell a long, overarching story. And I finally went back and did the final piece of that because I was missing out on that. And it's really good. Well written. Even got a little emotional at the end. Very solid. I was impressed.
Does the ending of it give you access to a new ending or no?
Yeah, there's a new ending.
Thank God. Because I played through the whole game, didn't like any of the endings that got presented, and then finished the game, didn't pick any endings, and just went, oh, I'm done with the game, but I didn't pick an ending.
That's kind of an ending too. Just
Yeah, but there's not like a cutscene that's like, here's what happened. It's just like okay, what do you want to do now? And I'm like, well, there's nothing to do, and it's like, okay, turn off the game, I guess.
There's the definitive new ending.
Okay, nice.
At least one. Yeah. I also picked up and played through Terra Nil. This is a base builder, kind of. A very relaxing, chill one where you are bringing nature back to devistated landscapes.
Really Did someone say a chill game? What?
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah. No, I know of Terra Nil, so what did you think of it?
It's excellent. I had a lot of fun playing it. It's not very long. It only has 4 environments, I guess, that you go into and bring back to life. And each one's probably an hour 15 playtime. So not huge. But it's just really, really enjoyable bringing back nature to these devastated worlds. It's just a lot of fun.
It's a really cool game. Also, you can play it on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Weird.
That is weird.
Very strange, but you can play it on Netflix.
Right.
one of the coolest parts about it, I think, is you build up all your base, right? And then you have to tear it down so that you can leave and leave nothing behind, which is a really cool idea, breaking back down the base you've spent so long building so you can fix everything. It's just a lot of fun.
You should try panoramic. Or
I thought you were going to say Ixion. I thought you were going to say you should try Ixion.
We haven't got there yet.
Again. I also played through the System Shock remake, which I was quite impressed by. It took me a little bit to get into it. I wasn't kind of getting it at first because there is very, very little direction in that game. The entirety of the story and your objectives is told basically through audio logs.
Great.
Some of the audio logs, not important, just background information. Some of them basically give you your next objective and how to achieve it. So at first I wasn't paying that close attention.
To the entire log before you can play the game again?
No, you can keep playing.
It's a really good feature. I feel like
I love that feature.
Be forced to do that.
Warning, if you keep playing and get distracted, don't listen to the log. Could be a problem.
Oh boy.
Might be your next objective. So actually, this game, I used the Steam overlay notes a ton. Because any bit of important information, I would just write down from the log to keep track of.
Oh, nice.
And it was very helpful.
No wonder you were propping that up so much earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, the
I
notes,
love the
man.
notes.
The notes. I'm like,
The notes?
I mean, cool. Notes. Yeah, sure.
It's excellent.
Their new feature, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen a significant change in Steam, honestly.
Oh, man.
He's poking fun at conversation from earlier.
Real fast.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say the gameplay in it is really, really good. They really modernized it from how it looked. I hadn't played it originally, but I had seen some gameplay of it, and it's pretty rough. The art style is still very old looking, very early PC game looking, which is an interesting choice. It works pretty well, I think. But gameplay, really fun. Lots of exploration and secrets to find.
Excellent.
Really good.
Okay. Alex, Chad, me, what have you been playing lately?
You want to talk about Ixion?
You know, if you want me to, real quick, I'll go next. Guys, I got the other ending in Ixion.
Oh my god!
Let me tell you,
is this that
one
really
where you
engaging,
become
really fun?
accountant?
dude,
Yeah,
it's so freaking good. It is a survival, city building, resource management game on an arc that's traveling to a new planet.
I'm gonna be honest. You lost me at survival.
Oh, it's so good though. Guys, it's such a man. The music is also excellent. Good game. Somebody needs to play this game so you can understand like why I like it so much. Alex, it's on your wish list for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I am very happy to have this be your little secret. You know, it'll just be a mystery to me.
So none of us have to like try it
Care
for
about
the
it.
year.
That's true. That is true. That's true. You don't have to. But man, what a good game. I'm disappointed. It's okay. It's all right. Let's talk about the other game.
Maybe
Diablo
someday.
4.
Maybe deep discount.
Yeah.
Diablo 4, yeah. Blizzard's best opening of all time for any game in terms of sales is what they've said. Fastest selling game of all time for them. Which is impressive considering the amount of people that are like saying that they would never buy anything from Blizzard again and all the controversies they've gone through and everything. This game's still the fastest selling game of all time. So I guess when it comes to Diablo, it doesn't matter.
Gamers are hypocrites. Sorry,
Wait, you mean-
sorry, fellow gamers.
You mean Blizzard made Diablo? I was just playing Diablo because it was Diablo.
Listen, they nailed the gameplay, I think, and then they also don't have any super predatory microtransaction stuff yet, so that's an absolute
Wow.
win for me.
Love that you said yet.
They've
So
said that
cool.
they're going to do no
Only cosmetics, right?
microtransactions that can affect gameplay directly or indirectly.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
So the like $20
So-
one skin is not predatory. Okay, got you.
Sure. if you really need that skin, you can cough up $20, I guess. I don't really see a problem with that.
You. A lot of people, I think the predatory word actually is being taken to the extremes nowadays.
I think predatory means like it's playing on like people's addictions and or like gambling issues or
right,
like trying to obscure how much you're actually spending.
Right, so like at the end of Diablo Immortal's dungeon, you can pay 99 cents in order to get more rewards. That's predatory. Wow, there's a skin in the shop that you could literally ignore. It's not predatory.
Yeah.
You look at the skin and you're like, that's $20.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy that. Like,
I mean,
whatever, somebody else will. But...
I've bought Arcana skins in Dota, so like, and those are like $35, you know, so it's like, it's whatever. To me, the microtransactions are such like it's not even the transactions in game are like, whatever. It's fine. It's irrelevant to me. I don't have a problem with it all.
The amount that it actually takes to produce a game, if you don't see stuff like that in game where there's like skins you can purchase, they're losing. And also with this climate of like people buying in-game stuff like that, they're just losing money just without putting something like that in the game. Now, if it directly impacts, like if you are able to buy a barbarian axe that does 1 million damage and it's $50. Yeah, that's predatory. Yeah, okay. So, but that's not in the game. We can move on from this.
The game.
Okay, go ahead. No, it's fine.
No, I want to hear this. This.
So, like, I've been playing Jedi Survivor, right? Yeah. And something that's brought me a lot of joy in it is that I can go open a chest and be like, oh shit, a new outfit. And I can, like, customize my guy, and I didn't have to pay $40 to give him a new haircut.
Yeah.
And, like... And I paid, in Diablo's case, $70. Actually, Jedi Survivor was also $70. To pay full price, more than full price for a game now, and then have to be nickel and dime the whole time for cool little features like that.
Would it bother you if in Jedi Survivor there were also different skins you could buy in a market in addition to what you can find in-game? Because that's how Diablo is.
That's basically what Diablo is.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's not great. I would rather be able to get it in the game I paid for.
In my mind, I justify it as like the stuff that's in the game exists, and like if there wasn't a shop, those skins wouldn't exist, period. Like they wouldn't be in the game included.
They feel like almost out of universe. Like extraneous things that just like you said, it would not exist in the game if it was not a microtransaction feature. Right. It's like a skin that you would buy in Fortnite of insert anything, because Fortnite has
Rick and Morty or Kratos or
that's kind of what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I actually do not like any of the skins that are in the shop and prefer all of the armor that I've. First of all, the feature is you bring whatever armor to the blacksmith and you can salvage it for crafting materials, and it has a little symbol next to it it's like a little pickaxe, and that means that you will keep the transmog when you salvage this. Yeah, so I like all of the transmogs that I've gotten for free way more than I have any interest in purchasing. And maybe they're holding it back for season 1 to drop, and then that's where it's going to be like bonkers skins, but all of them look kind of crappy, especially the rogue ones. Like they're not good.
Yeah.
All right, so
the game.
Yeah, the
game. Primary thing you start with is just the main storyline. It's, I'll say, easily the best story of any Diablo game, which not a high bar, but it's a pretty good story, actually. They actually put some effort into it, I think, and it leaves it in a spot where I can see the different directions they're going to go for expansions, and that's pretty exciting. Gameplay, traditional Diablo gameplay, if you don't like that, probably not going to like this game. Yeah. If you do like that, you'll probably dig this game. I think the build crafting is pretty sick. All the classes seem like they can go multiple directions and be just as effective. There's like 4 top tier endgame builds on my sorcerer I'm playing that are all pretty much equally viable. And I kind of like shifted skills I was using throughout playing and found the style that I liked and ended up, leaning into that, and that's been very rewarding, I think.
Yeah, there is definitely your top like 0.01% builds on each class, Alex is completely right. You can build your class the way you want it and still be effective in late game stuff. Like it's not a big deal.
I think the decisions they made with build crafting is such a good iteration on what Diablo had been before, because previously it was just like armor set matching and finding specific items to, match up. But now being able to extract aspects from legendary gear and then put those on other pieces of armor that may have, key attributes that you want in your build is such a good plan.
It's so flexible.
Yeah. Yes. I love that.
It's funny because casuals love that, but the top tier players are like, "Oh man, this takes away like getting good gear and finding out." But honestly, I think to rebuttal that, this game isn't made for them. This game is made for the casual player, and you can kind of see that once you start getting to the end game. There are very limited things to do. They're very rewarding, and I think they're still pretty fun because it's the Diablo gameplay. And if you like smacking mobs and seeing them explode, especially really, really large groups of mobs and seeing them explode, then going into the endgame content is wonderful. I can't really speak on Diablo 3 or Diablo 2 when it comes to the endgame stuff, but this game has some stuff that's kind of held me in place with world bosses, Legion events, nightmare dungeons, which most of my time's been sunk into that. And the renown, I don't like it, but I've been doing it. We can touch on it in a second. World boss is really cool. There's it's like every 2-4 hours there's a boss that pops, and if you're looking at the map, there's a little section that kind of notifies you on your mini map. It's clear. You can actually see like in the direction where it is, and it's like it pops up. That notification pops up like a half an hour early. You get over there and you smack a loot pinata basically, because you could die repeatedly. And at the end of the fight, if you beat the 15-minute timer, you get loot. It's not all that engaging. It's not like you have to dodge a bunch of mechanics. It's Diablo, so you just bunch of group
They're
randoms.
At least attack patterns. So.
Yeah, there's a guy who we call it a light show. He shoots out 2 beams to his left and right, and he spins. And it's amazing when somebody dies of that, and you go and pick them up, and the light starts coming. And as you're picking them up, the timer of picking them up is just enough to where you get them up, run away, and they immediately die to it again. That turns into 3 beams after you get him below half health. There's another one that has. He's carrying around a chest, a very big chest, and he's slamming the ground with it, creating rocks. After a while, the rocks will explode, and if you're standing near them, it will one-shot you. And he leaves melted gold on the ground, which is very hot and will damage you over time.
It's very hot.
Then there's another boss. I forget his name. Ashava. Never mind, I didn't forget his name.
Well done.
He's just like a 4-legged alien-looking creature. Demon, and he basically like spews poison in front of him, leaves poison on the ground, jumps around. You always want to be behind him. He does 2 hand strikes, and if you're right in the center of him, you don't get hit by it. But if you're on one of the sides, lots of damage, and it leaves poison on you, so you could die to that. All these guys have a chance to drop horse mounts, which is really cool because you don't have to purchase the horse mounts from the shop. I got a ghostly one, which is actually really, really cool looking. So that's the world bosses. Legion events are basically similar. It has a 5-minute timer instead of a 30-minute timer. You go to the Legion event, wait around for a second, kindle a fire to up to 15 stacks. You get 15% more XP per kill. You roam around doing mini events within it. Towards the end, it'll spawn, if you succeed the mastery, 2 bosses. You beat 2 bosses together, 3 chests pop, and you loot those. And then moving on to the nightmare dungeons. Nightmare dungeons are basically, I think Path of Exile has something similar to this, where there's like sigils that you basically add different elements to the dungeons. You could repeatedly do dungeons, but this kind of adds a little more, like every time you kill an enemy, they're going to explode. Every single enemy that you kill explodes. It's the Death Pulse one. There's monsters do extra cold damage, and that really sucks because you know that they're going to be mostly freezing enemies, and if you're a rogue like me trying to bounce around a room, you're going to get frozen in place and die. Then there's like Dark Shroud that follows you around, and when it lands on the ground, it creates a pool, and you are standing in a silence bubble to where you can't use any of your skills. Your screen's very dark, and you just got to move out of it. There is Backstabbers, which do 150% more damage to your back. So you basically want all enemies in front of you at all times. On top of all this, the scaling of the Nightmare Dungeons are level 54 enemies plus whatever tier you're doing. So if you get up into tier like 30, it's 94. 84?
84.
Math. So yes, it adds an element to actually like grind the game, other than just like, let me go spam this dungeon over and over again. That's going to give me no benefit. While you're running these Nightmare Dungeons, there's also these things on your Paragon board called a glyph that you choose to socket in, and you will level it up. And in that socket, there is there's red spaces. There's I think it's 3 on the right, 3 on the left, 3 on top, 3 on the bottom. Kind of make a pyramid-looking symbol. All hips that are touching it are buffed. And then once you get that glyph to level 15, which you do only by running Nightmare Dungeons, it will expand 1 square out to where it will have more of a buff from all of the... For instance, mine is like, I need a ton of dexterity in order for this glyph to do increased trap damage or crit damage or something like that. Yeah, I just explained pretty much all endgame, but you guys can talk about...
The Paragon board you just brought out of nowhere, that's basically like your endgame leveling.
Yeah.
So you have like a traditional skill tree from levels 1 to 50. And then after that, you get access to a Paragon board where you're like slotting nodes into this thing, and you have to connect them from the start of it to the end of it. And they're all like kind of small buffs, but some of them matter a lot more than others for your builds, and you get to like kind of shape the direction you go on that.
Right.
And you add more boards to the edges as you go out, and basically choose a path of like perks that will assist what you're trying to do with your character. So it gives like a steady amount of progression after you're done getting skill points.
Right. And you get to choose 5 or 6 of those. Once you like complete the trail off to a side of the board, it'll ask you which board you want to put on it, and it has a specific like bonus in the middle of the board that you're working towards. But yeah, the only way to level those up are running the Nightmare Dungeons. And then there are certain materials and stuff that you have to grind out in this game, and they come from what they're called Helltide events, which is another timered event. It's a region that is looking all icky and red. The enemies are 2 levels above you, and when you're roaming through there, they're dropping Hellfire Cinders, and there are 2 chests in that location that are most important. Pretty much ignore all the rest. You could open any chest once you get to like 75 cinders, and it could be like legendary arms, legendary sword, legendary boots. You know, it's another way to kind of get the armor. But there are 2 chests that are 175, and they're called the mystery chests. And when you find those, they drop like 4 or 5 pieces at one time of the legendary gear. So you kind of want to go for that. The con of that event is if you die, I haven't figured out if it's like half of your material, somewhat like a percentage, or but some of your cinders drop. Like you can't pick them back up; they're gone. So it's like you really just want to keep living in that Helltide area, doing the events, getting the cinders, yada yada yada. That's a lot so far. There's a lot going on in that game at the end.
I don't really... I'm not to endgame content, but the things that I really like about Diablo 4 are the map traversal capabilities. I think it's excellent. I think they did a good job. Adding a mount was, wow, yes, please, thank you. I don't have to walk across giant spaces to get to where I need to go.
I heard it takes a long time to get them out. Is that right?
It does. It's like it's Act 4, I think.
Yeah.
It depends on how you target the game. If you are like Alex and I's group and literally did not touch the story at all for like the first couple nights that we played, and we got to like level 30, 35, somewhere around there, and then started doing Act 1, yeah, the mount takes a while to get. But if you actually get told by somebody, hey, go through, get to Act 3, you'll thank me later, then it's a pretty, I mean, it's not the longest thing ever. It's not the shortest thing ever, but it's not like a while.
I think that part's fun. I really like also waypointing in general. I think the strongholds that they have in each region are really cool. Like creating a new city with a waypoint gives you better access to some other parts of the map that you didn't access before. Like I said, the aspects are really neat just for building, like just your build for whatever you're doing with that specific class. And just like the story in general, I think Alex, you hit the nail on the head. I think it's maybe the best story that has ever been written for Diablo.
So does that mean it's good?
Yeah,
I'd say it's
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
That statement is not a high bar, like I said earlier, but
it's not.
it's
Sure.
actually like a good story this time. So,
I'd say the one thing this game does for me that Diablo has always done for me is loot drops in general, and that's just what keeps me playing Diablo. I literally left the tutorial town, and like the first enemy I hit was a rare item, and then the actual first what are those little encounters? The
events,
just like
little
the
orange
orange
circles.
circle event.
The actual first orange circle had a legendary item drop for me.
That's insanity.
That was like 40 minutes into the game, maybe less than that.
I
Okay,
didn't get a
wild.
legendary until like Act 3.
No, dude, I have at this point. I think I'm in Act 4, Act 5. I think I have basically all legendaries. There may be one slot that's a rare. That's it. It's amazing. I freaking, that's what I love about Diablo. But I think this is a lot of people I think call it a return to form. I think it's more than that. I think it's an upgrade on the method, the like thing that is Diablo, but it also is return to form in the sense that they've gone back to some of the like gritty, grungy, dark, very bloody, dungeony feel from Diablo 2, and I love that. So solid game. It also has 97 main quests and 100 side quests, so there's quite a bit of content.
So I don't know Diablo type games very well, but I had a question I wanted to ask because it's my only frame of reference. So what's better, I guess, about Diablo 4 versus, I'm going to go with Lost Ark because it's the only one I kind of have a reference for.
I don't know if one is better than the other from my perspective. It's maybe somebody else who has less of a bias towards Lost Ark can answer that.
I'm really curious because Diablo 4 is $70 and Lost Ark was $0.
Well, gearing is like super different. Lost Ark is like, I feel like Lost Ark is like the gear doesn't super matter. Like stuff drops, it has a green thing and you put it on.
Okay.
And they don't really do much besides like generally make you stronger as you grind your character out. Like you get to a point in endgame with Lost Ark where you have everybody has the same set of armor, and it's like the tier 1 set for that class, and that is the armor for that class, and you level it up by shoving resources into it, and it makes your power number go up and you are now stronger. Whereas this game is like you're constantly making choices about which substats you want to min-max and like what perks from, I mean, once you get a little bit farther in, what perks from legendaries you want to combo together with other ones to form like a play style, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, I think at first in Diablo, you're basically looking at the green number and you're slotting it in. But once you get to Nightmare Dungeons and like the phases that I'm playing at, a little of what Alex is playing at, you're starting to look at the aspects. I actually started looking at red numbers today because I was like, oh, there are actually armor pieces that will give me a overabundance of points and a certain skill. And so my whole class is based around what is called twisting blades, where you smack the guy 3 times with blades, and then you run around the room, and the blades come back to you, and they spin in a circle, because I have a certain aspect that makes them spin in a circle. So that's my whole playstyle. But my damage on them was only up into the 8,000s, and then getting 2 more points onto it with the gear that I actually decreased in armor and some power, I actually got 10,000, and I've seen mobs dropping faster because of that than if I would have just gone with the green number. So yeah, that's a cool thing. I think
in terms of like straight gameplay,
right,
very very similar. Like you're wading through hordes and you're pressing your buttons, and there are like, I think Lost Ark might be slightly more mindless, but not too much more mindless, in that you can kind of just throw all your abilities out and they kill stuff. There, because of like the playstyle formation and Diablo, there are like an order that you usually want to do things when you approach a group. So like for instance, like I am playing a sorcerer that is based in ice. I have a move that will do a blast around me and freeze everybody in like a circle around me. And then I have another move that's like a machine gun of icicles. And I've got a perk on an armor piece that will automatically shoot icicles from that move at people that are frozen. So I want to like jump into the middle of a group, make sure I freeze everybody first, and then pick out like the big guy and start machine gunning him, and then let my perk kind of tickle down everybody else around me. And then like, defensive abilities, barriers and stuff like that, you use kind of reactively instead of just pressing whatever. And I feel like Lost Ark is like, until you get to end game like raids with mechanics, which is not really a thing that Diablo has actually, you don't really care about like what buttons you're pressing. You're just pressing them.
Yeah, I think the biggest way you can compare Lost Ark and Diablo is take your Lost Ark character into a chaos dungeon. That's Diablo. So run through the mobs and see what you do in Lost Ark, and then compare that gameplay to what you're doing in Diablo. And Alex is right. Lost Ark's just, this is off cooldown, let me hit it. This is off cooldown, let me hit it. All right, this one's off cooldown. While Diablo's like, all right, I have 2 shadow steps. If I get frozen, I'm going to die. So I need to twisting blades this mob in front of me. I got frozen. Let me shadow step back behind the entire group. Now my blades are flying through the entire group. I also want to pull them together and stun them with my traps so that I don't get hit, because I'm very squishy. So I throw down my poison trap and my death trap, and all of that together keeps them in place, does a little damage, but then I know they're getting back up, so I'm dodging away, and I'm letting my stuff kind of go out on off cooldown so that I can come back in and kind of repeat that. Lost Ark's just like smash buttons, clicking, smashing buttons. Another thing is your basic attack in Diablo doesn't really stun lock, while your basic attack in Lost Ark kind of holds enemies in place. So it's like your oh crap button. Everything's on, everything's on cooldown. I can't really do big damage. Let me just hold them in place for a second with my left click. While Diablo's like, I'm doing my left click. It's making them vulnerable because I have that perk on, but just kind of generating resources at this point and waiting for stuff to come off cooldown so that I can get into the mobs and blast them up.
Yeah. It's a lot of little differences, but gear is the biggest thing. And it's always been the biggest thing for a Diablo game, is finding gear that fits what you're trying to do.
Sure. Yeah, it sounds like it's more in Diablo, the gear can change your playstyle, like create a playstyle for you. Whereas in Lost Ark, you have a build, you know what you're playing. Yeah. The gear you pick up doesn't change it.
Alex hasn't gotten to this portion yet, but there's like try something. Try I forget what they're called in Lost Ark, but they are essentially aspects in Diablo. And so they will actually change your abilities. They'll make your abilities stronger, but it's like way more complicated and way more difficult to get than Diablo's like a legendary drops. This has twisting blades aspect that I need on it, or this has shadow step now has 2 charges instead of 1.
40 minutes into the game for some people.
Like, let me go over to
Just their
the
build like that.
person that will strip this aspect off this piece. It'll destroy the gear, but at least you have the aspect where you can put it on another piece of gear, and it's way more friendly that way. This game is super alt friendly. Beat the campaign definitely before you start making alts. Honestly, if I did it all over again, World Tier 1, streamline the campaign, and then that's when I'll start making alts and playing everything else, because you have your horse. Any renown that you get is cross character. All altars of Lilith that give you either like +2 willpower, +2 dexterity, +2 strength, plus whatever, all across characters. I think the only characters that don't get any of that, except for the horse, is hardcore characters. So that, yeah, definitely World Tier 1, skip World Tier 2, go World Tier 3. And then some people get carried to World Tier 4 and just level up from 30 to 57 in one dungeon, you know? So
Some people.
yeah,
You don't have like all legendary items yet?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, at this point, sure, yeah.
Not by like Act 3 or 4 or whatever.
I didn't start like getting close to having all legendaries until basically the end of the story.
Yeah, I think I'm like one slot away.
The last like few set pieces in the story seem like they intentionally throw a lot of gear at you
So
to like wow you.
I mentioned renown. I just wanted to hit on this before we close down the Diablo chat. Renown and Season 1 are coming. Well, first of all, Renown's already in the game. Season 1 is coming, and people are very afraid of Season 1. Season 1 is actually, if you were the one that bought the Digital Deluxe Edition or the Ultimate Edition and you thought you were getting a Season Pass right out the gate, wrong. Season 1. I didn't realize this, so it was kind of shocking for me when the game launched on, I think, June 5th, and I was like, where's the Battle Pass? And then it was just like, oh, by the way, this is Season 0? We're not launching that until next time. Trying to explain seasonal characters is very difficult. I've tried to do this to numerous different people, and there's just huge question marks, and I don't know how to articulate it in a way that I will actually get it across to people that it is a brand new character in a brand new area, but you don't lose your other character. You keep your character that you're working on, but if you want to play in the Season 1, you can't play that character. You have to play a new character. So it's Season 1, like Realm, Season 1.
They basically have like servers, and there's the Eternal server that always has these characters that we started with that will always eternally be there. And then there's seasonal servers that start from scratch every season and have unique mechanics and new items. And then at some point when the season's over, they roll some of that into the Eternal server.
Right. So the reason this is important is because when Season 1 comes out, if you paid for the Digital Deluxe Edition or the Ultimate Edition, the way you're going to get your money's worth is playing a Season 1 character. If you don't play a Season 1 character, you just lost money because you're not using the Battle Pass. On top of that, a lot of people are worried because if anybody has actually tackled the Renown, like myself, it's kind of a slog and it's kind of a grind, and it's a checklist of values leading up to kind of important stuff. We mentioned the Paragon board and how that can push your character forward in power because you're selecting +5 dexterity, +5 dexterity, +7 strength, and then there's like one that comes up that's part of your build that's like 10% more damage to people affected by your traps. Like, that's my build. That's a lot of damage. Well, there's the last thing on the Renown grind is 4 Paragon points for every single area, and there's 5 areas in the game. People are afraid that this slog that they grinded through, where they had to go out of their way instead of just playing the game and doing the nightmare dungeons and doing a side quest here and there and finding an altar of Lilith, they're gonna have to do it all over again. And I'm gonna tell you firsthand, Lilith grind, going and looking at an interactive map on where the altar of Lilith is, going to that place in game, clicking on the altar of Lilith, checking it off, and then going to the next one, not fun. And they're pretty out of the way to where unless you're really exploring the world and not spending your time in nightmare dungeons where you kind of want to be, you're not going to find them. So people have definitely made it clear, And I think tomorrow, actually, they're at 11 PDT. They're going to come on and kind of have this campfire chat. What should I call it? Campfire chat, to where they can chat with their community and get their feedback. They have said that they've heard the feedback on Renown, and I think a large majority of people kind of want the map open. Like, you don't need to have to re-explore the map. Waypoints open. Lilith
Yes, please.
already grabbed. Like, if you've done it before on your first character, not like, don't just give it to people in season 1, but like, if you've done it before on the Eternal server, like, please just roll it over to. Or alternatively, make the Renown grind something to where when you're doing the Nightmare Dungeons, you have to do like 5 Nightmare Dungeons, 10 Nightmare Dungeons, 15 Nightmare Dungeons. All right, here's 500 points. But right now it's like 30 points for a dungeon, 20 points for a side quest, 10 points for an altar of Lilith, 5 points for exploring an area on the map, and you're supposed to get, I think it's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 points. And it's like, that's a lot. It like resets every time. That's a lot of points that you have to go through, and you have to do pretty much everything on each map to get those done.
I mean, 500 points is a lot to get through when it's 20 points per side quest.
Yeah.
And side quests are like a lot of times multi-steps and not close together.
Which I definitely misspoke. It is 600 on the last one. I don't know what the first couple are, but it is 600 on the last one, which is like, that is a lot to get through, especially after you've gotten through the first couple, which were a couple of the dungeons,
strongholds
the
are worth
3
100.
strongholds that were worth 100. You got those out of the way. A couple altars of Lilith, a couple side quests that you did along the way. Now you're actually looking at it and you're like, I want these skill points and I want these Paragon points, and I have to do 1,000 extra points of what this Renown grind. Like, holy crap! So,
man, it's a good game. I'm excited. It's just it's fun to play. Owen,
I'm excited to see where they take it.
Yeah, what's up?
you put Doesn't Matter. Is that a new game I haven't heard about?
No, it's just I haven't played anything new, so it doesn't matter.
Owen, I need you
Yeah.
to go play Panorama, or if you're really feeling it, you could play Exion.
I was
Solid
going to
game.
say, I'm not playing
second
Diablo
reviewer.
4, so...
No, I don't need you to play Diablo 4. No. Play Exion.
when you join in our clan, Aaron,
I don't know. I didn't see an invite when I checked last, so I didn't join.
Ooh,
the
shit.
invite actually expired.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
I actually looked. Anyway, I think that's all we got. Yeah, that was a lot of games. A lot of like game showcases, and then a lot
Yeah,
of
but we
talk
didn't have
about
a lot
games.
to talk about, you know? Like, just...
I mean, again, when you look at the list, it's like it didn't look huge.
I told you it was gonna
We
be.
warned you.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are. Anyways, thanks so much for joining us. We will catch you next time. See ya.